What up? What up? What up? What up, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? Check back in. It's Monday. We're in November now. November 3rd, 2025. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better. I posted out on everything, YouTube included. Thank you to everybody. I think you guys are starting to see the posts a lot more often on the YouTube channel. If you guys don't follow my social media, I think you guys are seeing those. Plus, they're on the homepage. So anything I post out, I'm getting a lot of reactions on that now. So thank you to everybody for seeing those. But I posted, I was on my way to Chicago. We would have been there covering the Broadview protests against ICE. But on the way there, I'm like, man, I started to get like body aches and I started to get the chills. And for me, that's when I know I'm sick. Like when I'm like probably contagious or whatever. So like, damn, I should. And I was only an hour. I was only an hour into Wisconsin, and even then, like, I don't think I would have went out anyways. So it'd have been although I would have spent a lot of money, and then I wouldn't have gone out because I don't want to get other people sick. That's another factor, especially since it's getting cold outside. You got COVID out there still. So I didn't have COVID, but I was just sick, I guess. So I stayed home. We turned around. And then I just kind of played Arc Raiders and hung out on my gaming channel for the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, we had Halloween night. So shout out to everybody that was on my Mercado my Mercado gaming channel. And I hope you guys come on over and check that out because we had a lot of fun. And we'll continue to do that. Like tonight, I'll be over there. I don't foresee there's no breaking news today. News is kind of down, but we're talking about all the upcoming protests. I'm getting a lot of people sending me their protests and things, especially here in Minnesota, so I don't have to travel so far. But we do have protests coming up this week, so I do plan to be on the ground more than I'm here at home, ranting about the obvious, I guess, right? I feel like now it's just obvious, so now I don't feel like I have to pierce through the void now. I feel like people kind of know what's going on. I mean, but when I'm out there on the streets, though, we have more people that tune in. And then I can talk to new people. But, when I'm kind of here at home, it just, you guys get it. And we don't need to rant about it all day, every day. So I'd rather just kind of shed light on more of the protest stuff that is happening, and it will come and go, by the way. That's the other thing, you guys. It will, like, fluctuate. Like, there will be times where there will be a lot of protests and a lot of stuff happening, and oh my God. And then there will be down times. And then it'll be like, well, what's happening now? What do we do now? And it's like, you just got to be resilient. You just got to wait. Like, it won't always be like, I mean, it could be when 2028 comes around, when it comes time to vote for a new president, and I'm worried that he's not going to leave office. At that point, probably going to be out in the streets all the time covering protests. Like, I feel like it's just going to get to a point, right? The way things are going, the way his rhetoric is, Project 2025, it's just, we're in a government shutdown still. And I don't think they care. I don't think Trump cares. So I just foresee it getting to become like a daily thing. But for now, while we're still in the early stages of this presidency, it's going to like fluctuate. It'll like go up and down, but there's always a constant protest though. So I'm going to be doing more of an effort to get out there and cover them, even if they're not, massive protests or major breaking news. Oh my God, ICE is gassing people stuff. Well, because we can do both. I do both. I can be out there. Clearly, we followed ICE. We found them. There was a big stream. There was like 2,000, almost 2,500 people watching this guy in Chicago, and he was on his bike, and he was following ICE around, and they were letting him know what's going on. And you have a constitutional right to know what the police are doing. Okay, especially if the federal government is acting like this, if they're in the streets with masks on and they're taking their license plates off like we've seen, you have a right to follow them and know what they're doing. You don't get in their way. Okay, then they can arrest you. So I'm just giving you guys a little pro tip here. Keep a distance. Keep like about a half block. We're following them. We were in the convoy. We were right behind them. But for you, as like just kind of observers, just keep like a half block. Don't get in their way. Don't impede what they're doing, because then they can get you. I'm just being honest, right? I'm just being real. Like, they'll get you then they'll snatch you easy. So to keep yourself safe, if you want to do constitutionally protected stuff, just keep a safe distance for you too, because you guys have seen they'll just gas neighborhoods too. So if you don't want to get gassed, or whatever, then you can get the hell out of there. But also, yeah, if you're like impeding what they're doing, then they'll clearly just grab you, like we've seen consistently. So I don't want to see that for you. That's just I just don't want to see that for you. Doesn't mean they have a right to just be grabbing people. I'm not saying that. However, I just don't want to see you all hemmed up if you want to be out there doing constitutionally protected stuff in terms of following ICE. But we saw a person doing it, and then we were having lunch. It was me and Status Quo, who has been doing an excellent job in Chicago. Shout out to Status Quo, John and JT, who are out there. You got Jordan in New York City, but who's in charge of it. Obviously, Jordan's solid. And then you got John and JT, who are in Chicago and have kind of been there for almost going on like 2 months. Right, they've been just like embedded there. You got John and JT behind the scenes that are telling me like, hey, like they feel like they're Chicago residents now, because of how much they've been doing out there, covering it kind of since like the apex of when ICE activity really started heating up and getting really out of hand in terms of how they're handling Chicago. And it is terrifying when you're out there on the streets, and like you can see it from here at home. But when you're out there and you're seeing the communities getting affected by it, and like they got the whistles, and that is so wild. Like they got when ICE is in Chicago and they're out there doing patrols. And it's one thing if they're actually going after criminals, but we've had all summer months of them not going after just criminals. They're going after like regular people, and then also just like American citizens. They are acting without any type of standard. Right? There isn't any type of method to their madness. It's just they're going into communities and just causing chaos. And that's exactly what they're doing. Okay, there's nothing professional about how the federal law enforcement's acting in these cities, and they saw it firsthand. Like they're like, it's just wild to have militarized police that are all dressed however the hell they want. And I talked about this on my stream a little bit when I was in Chicago. But when I served in the Army, we had to have a standard. Right? When I was in the military, we had to dress a certain way, and people knew who we were. We had our ranks or whatever on. You know what I mean? Like we couldn't just wear whatever the fuck we wanted. We'd get in trouble. And you got the federal police out there just being like video game looking memes, like of a Delta Force operator looking. It's crazy. And then you got that in the middle of your neighborhood. Like who wants that? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see that. But we were out there, and like you saw it, and they get out and they're all armed. They all have they're all completely, and it's just it's in Chicagoland, by the way. It was in Barrowin. If I'm wrong, chat, correct me. It was in one of the suburbs, like by Broadview, on your way towards Broadview. But that convoy had left Chicago, so that's why. And it's easier and algorithmically, when it's to get more attention on the thing. Like if you're in Chicagoland, you should just probably Berwyn. It's just easier to attach Chicago to it. I'm just being honest. But I'll make sure I try to add the suburb on there on the title too. But if it's in like the suburbs area, like beyond Chicago, it's just easier to get more people's attention if Chicago is attached to it. Like just for example, like if we had an ICE operation here in Blaine, like I would label it. We're in a Minneapolis suburb. I would probably label it Minneapolis just because it would get more attention on it. But then when I'm live out there, I would tell you that we're in a suburb. But I didn't know. Like we were just following them. I wasn't exactly sure what suburb we were in. I just knew we were beyond like the city part of Chicago. But yeah, we had linked up with them unsurprisingly, and I should have went live sooner when we were out there. If you guys missed it, the stream's still up on the homepage. But we were with Status Quo, and let me pull it up here. And then I didn't know we were even behind him. Like I didn't even want to be this close, and neither did I don't think John. We didn't try to be, but look at the way it wasn't intentional, right? When you see this vehicle, do you think police? They got the Mexican flag on the back. I thought it was I thought we were safely behind one of the community vehicles that was following it and protesting, because we're not trying to be in their way either. As journalists, we're not trying to be in the group that was following them. You know what I mean? Or be with the impeding the police activities. We're just trying to follow this thing and figure out where this raid or whatever they were going to do is going to be. So we thought we were behind a safe vehicle, and then their lights came on, and I was like, oh, that's one of the ICE agents cars. Okay, they lit their lights on. I was like, oh shit, we're a little close, and I kind of got some more space at that point once I realized, you know, hey, that's the convoy, because we're not trying to get in their way either, right? And so then they got out, and then they ended up, I guess, detaining someone that got into their convoy. Right? So they were like completely armed. I thought there was going to be like a raid because of the way that they were moving. And then they all got, it's just crazy. I mean, it just does, this doesn't happen unless Trump's president and allows it to happen. I mean, we just didn't have this. It just didn't exist. This is like I still vividly remember, not even just a few years ago, Biden president, right? And then you had the fear of the IRS agents, I guess. And MAGA was afraid of armed IRS agents coming into your cities. It was ridiculous, which just tells you the Republicans are all about finance and like their money and shit and billionaires. Because like, yeah, I mean, in their world, probably are afraid of IRS agents going after their corporations. Duh. And then they get regular folk to be scared of it too. It's like a magic trick. They get dumb idiots to be scared of the shit that they're afraid of, like the IRS. Meanwhile, you actually had militarized police doing the thing that they were all afraid of a few years ago, just like patrolling our cities, just like this. But this one, you know, they detained somebody getting in their way. But I mean, this is the exact thing that you would see when they're conducting a raid on a business. You know, this is the same imagery, the same thing. That's what we thought it was. And we really thought it was like Greg Bovino's convoy on its way back to the Broadview, right? We were just a crowd. We didn't get in their way. And then they got into her car too, which was crazy. I didn't pay attention to that. It was just so much happening. But I realized that they just like got into her car and drove it themselves off the road. It's just like a test on how much rights we actually do have, because we don't have, I mean, we have as many rights as they say we do. Yeah, I'm just being real. You know what I mean? In the moment, like when shit is like this, when it's like really some constitutional shit and like, oh my God, like this is the moment. Because like we can talk about it all day online and be cringe lords online and be like, this is what it's supposed to be in a representative democracy. And fucking in real life though, hell nah. in real life, when that shit's out, when they're armed and they're out there like that, your rights are as much as that individual ICE officer says you have. That's how much rights you have. And shit, because they got into that and into her car and we're like just searching it. I mean, and I would have to like look into, I'm not a legal person, right? I'm not a lawyer, whatever, so I don't know all the legal around it. I don't know if, but I don't think this falls under anything legal. You got the border patrol, some border patrol agent going through your fucking car. I don't know. I don't know, chat. You'd have to ask a lawyer on this one. To me though, just kind of weird. Once you like work with I mean, once you have to cordon off the scene and call the tow truck, and then because you can't go through their shit, you'd have to get a warrant, right? Like, and when it comes to like local police, like then they like her purse. You know, in the moment, I'm just filming. I'm not really looking at all the shit that's happening. But I mean, in local policing, I believe you have to coordinate, and you gotta get a tow truck, and then the tow truck takes it, and then as the police, you have to get a warrant to go through the car, and a judge has to approve it, and then you go to the impound, and then you'd go through the car there. I believe that's how it would go. But again, I'm not a legal expert. But this is crazy, right? I'm telling you, when it comes to this type of shit, you can be edgelords on the internet and talk about rights and all these cringe ass motherfuckers on the internet that just talk on the internet. But then when you're out there in the streets, none of that shit applies. The streets are different. I'm telling you. That's why, like, I'm going to pull back on like political influencing a little bit, because I'm just being real. When out there on the streets, I mean, why is JB Pritzker? He's talking good. Talks are good, but this is happening. And then also at the Broadview facility, you got the Illinois State Police yesterday, and also Saturday, I believe, we're out there pretty militarized against the protest. So it's like you got JB Pritzker who's like resist, 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 and then when you got the people out there resisting, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? It started off great. There's JT. This is JT. This is a status quo. We're not gonna use their whole stream, but they were out there interviewing people, and then it's just kind of weird. So it's weird to have your state police, right? You're the governor. It's weird to have your state police like be a safe space for the federal government when you're like, hey, we need to resist them. It's weird. It sends a conflicting message. And I had the same criticisms for Governor Newsom in California earlier in the year when you had the protests there. That yes, got out of hand and required the law enforcement the first day, right? That first day when Waymos were on fire, definitely. But after that, you needed to have a nuanced brain as the governor, and especially being a resistance lib, I guess, to Trump, and being like, okay, well, that no more people aren't burning shit now, and there's no more riotous activity. They're out there marching, but they treated the march in Los Angeles early in the year like it was the riot, and they had the sheriff's department out there just wrecking them, just sending it right at the protests. And we watched all of that, and I was like, damn, why Newsom's telling the I don't know, who's he talking to then? Is he talking to the internet or is he talking to real people? Because the real people are out there protesting and we're protesting Trump and the federal government, but then his LAPD and the sheriff's department were going nuts. I'm not saying I don't think the Illinois State Police did anything to the protest. I don't know. I didn't watch. I was getting reports from it in my gaming chat though. Kind of phased out, but I guess they just wanted to look at pretty strong position, especially since the crowd doesn't look that big. And it just sends a weird message, for me at least. Like when I'm watching all this play out, when I'm watching the politics of it all, and you got the governor saying one thing, and then you got him having his police out there. Again, such a crowd. And the crowd wasn't even that big. I mean, really. They brought out even more, it looked like. Again, this is all footage from Status Quo's feed. They were live on, this was Saturday then. So I would have been out there. You guys would have seen it. I apologize. But I didn't want to I would have got this crowd sick. Maybe I would have had me go back by the police. I would have got them sick, but no, I would have got everyone sick. I'm feeling better now though. But yeah, they had the LRAD out there.
Put the bags down. Put the guns down.
And what message does this send? What do you do then, right? So is it like protest, but only during the 50501 protests or something, or what? Or protest, but only during the Democratic Party approved protests? Like, what is that, dog? For me, at least, that's how I'm seeing it. Am I wrong? Yeah, I think this is the same pastor that was, wasn't he like tear gassed a couple weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago, people were invited by Broadview police to come out into the street.
Yeah, this is Status Quo stream.
An ISP descended on them. It's vile. That is not what the kingdom of heaven is made of. The kingdom of heaven is made of dancing and singing and praying, longing for our enemies to be well. Do you realize the love that is coming at you right now? We're standing here peacefully, yearning for your salvation. And I will pray for any of your deliverance. But I need your...
They were being pepperballed? I didn't watch the stream. I'm going to do... for when it comes to real independent journalists, I'm not going to, like, watch their stuff, I guess. I'm going to do that less. When it's just random ass, like, MAGA hog chuds out there streaming themselves commit crimes. Oh yeah, we're just gonna stream all that. Who gives a fuck? But this Status Quo is actual respectable independent journalism. So full credit to them for all of this. But I didn't watch what they were doing. I just shouted them out and told everyone to go watch because they were gonna be out there, and they're always in the middle of some shit. So definitely go and subscribe to their channel. They do the same. I mean, and they're better. Obviously, they got the live view thing. But I'm out. They do the same type of journalism we do. But plus JT's really good at interviews, so you get that too on Status Quo. Still working on it.
It is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses.
Okay, so they're praying. State police out there. State police out there is militarized as the ICE. Why did they have like? It's just a bad message. You're gonna turn people away. Because like these are the protests for me that are like the ones that are at the problem. Like all protests matter for sure. All protests are great. These ones like are the apex of people that are willing to go out there and right at it, right at the thing. And not everyone can, not everyone will, and that's fine. But these are the ones you think would get the most support from the politicians if they're like calling for it. They're like, yes, resist. You have to resist, and then you got people out there literally doing it right to the core of the issue, and it's good. Like I like the environment. I like people going out there and expressing their voice, like on the monthlies, right? And the massive amount of people that are out there, and it's good. That'll be good for the voting. That'll be hopefully that'll be good for the voting part of it. But you know, these ones, I'm just like, this is like 2020 environment out there for me. Compared to other things, like, you know, we're out there, I'm getting gassed, I've been gassed already, and pepperballed, and flashbanged already. And so have all these protesters that have gotten worse than that. And we're like back kind of in that already. And this is just the first year of his presidency. People have been getting detained already. People are already taken away already for protesting the government. Okay, it's already happening. So you would think that, I would think that as being a governor, or like if you're a resistance Democrat, if that's how you're positioning yourself, which J.B. Pritzker and Governor Newsom both have, more so than anyone right now, you would be supporting the ones, the protesters more that are like getting gassed and flashbanged for it right now, or getting taken away. Now, I mean, that's just how I see it. Hopefully that, well, we were going to need it because there's going to be more protests like this. You're going to see more of this. There's going to be a surge. There's going to be a surge of it. So that's what went down in Chicago. But beyond that, there wasn't any like riots or anything. Nothing got out of hand. I think it just kind of dissipated towards the end. Like there's a crowd out there, and they brought the sheriffs out. Yeah, it just kind of faded out at the end. Nothing crazy happened. But when we were out there, this is one of the things we had seen with the ICE and the Border Patrol. And the Border Patrol, I believe, are going to have more of a control over ICE because their leadership. Border Patrol's strong arm tactics are the new norm in Chicago. Oh god, Chicago Tribune. I'm logged in. I'm logged into Washington Post. ICE and Border Patrol's use of tear gas injures, sickens, and tests the law. Federal immigration agents say chemical agents are needed to disperse violent protesters, but videos also show them firing at people in aggressive and questionable ways. You don't say. Federal immigration officers are using chemical irritants to disperse protesters in ways that violate American policing norms and are testing the boundaries of use of force laws. Video footage from Chicago shows, in some cases, hitting demonstrators directly with the munitions. Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers have deployed tear gas in cities around the country, but its use has been equally prevalent in Chicago, where the Trump administration launched Operation Midway Blitz in September as part of the president's crackdown on illegal immigration. Since then, federal officers have thrown chemical agents out of vehicles on city streets, creating a hazard for motorists multiple times. They have thrown tear gas canisters near stores and schools, exposing children, pregnant women, and older people to the knock. It's just in neighborhoods. Like, here you go. Right in the middle of trick-or-treating. There you go. All right in the middle, right in the Halloween. Right in the neighborhood.
Hey, why is this raining so hard? Hey, 7 years old. Be easy on this. 7 years old. Dude, woman.
So there's like in neighborhoods, not in like in the city or whatever people would say. Like it's like it's in the suburbs now. The use of tear gas has persisted in recent days, despite a court order forbidding officers from using chemical agents against demonstrators and journalists unless they pose a safety threat. Last week, Gregory Bavino, the Border Patrol official leading the Chicago operation, was videotaped throwing a tear gas canister in a crowd. That's why we went to Chicago last week, so we could get, the demonstrations that were happening around it. We had good coverage. Shout out to Mod Nikki and everybody behind the scenes helping get clips up, and I got my photos up, and thank you to everybody for sharing all that. I appreciate that, especially like when I'm going out there, I need you guys more than ever. When I'm doing these type of streams, it's fine. We're just chilling. We're just kind of going through the news. But when I'm out there though, I appreciate everybody, especially double extra for sharing all of that, because that's all my work, right? Last week, Greg Bavino, the Border Patrol official leading the Chicago operation, was videotaped throwing tear gas canister into a crowd. In another incident, immigration officers deployed tear gas as families were walking to a Halloween parade. Generally, these kinds of crowd control devices are reserved for truly dangerous situations, said Kevin Flea, legal director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Illinois, which is part of a legal coalition representing journalists and protesters in a lawsuit. I cannot think of a good parallel for what the administration is doing right now. Literally, they're acting. 2020 was not that long ago. Okay. And I was out there for it, and I was condemning it all to its face. All the riots, all these MAGA talk big about calling protests riots. They're all they weren't out there telling the riots to stop though. I was like, this is bad. This should stop. Like while the riot was happening in the middle of it. This is not good. You should not like destroy your neighborhood. But honestly, it wasn't people that were living in. I didn't know it wasn't people that were like from South Minneapolis doing it. I was still stupid because I didn't have the common sense to be like, yeah, why would South Minneapolis destroy itself? No, it wouldn't. You had a lot of white supremacists come in, and people from Chicago actually and other places from out of town come in and start smashing shit and burning stuff. They were the ones that were doing it. It wasn't the people that were from the area doing it. No, they burned their own town. Were some people engaging in looting though? For sure. None of that's good. None of that is good. It's all bad. That's when it all goes to shit. But it would be dishonest for me to call a regular protest a riot, right? Especially from when I've seen one. Like when people are out there with signs and they're marching around Minneapolis, like we had at the No Kings protest. You'll have MAGA call that a riot. And they'll call those protesters rioters. And that would be so dishonest because I've seen what a riot is. I've seen what rioters are. I've been in that environment. I know what that's like. And people marching around downtown Minneapolis peacefully chanting is not that. Not that at all. Okay. So there's like a misinformation there. And a lot of people believe a lot of dumb shit. So yeah, that's just I don't even know why I ranted there. Oh, because of the riot control, right? And like the misinformation. So like even the people that are out there in Portland, and we'll get into that soon, that's not even a riot. We have MAGA still out there lying about it, but none of that is riots. For it to be a riot for me, I need burning, I need looting, I need smashing, I need violence, actual violence for me to be like, yep, riot right now. Okay. Not people standing out there cursing at the police. And then when the police are tired of being cursed at, they come out and gas and tear gas and then create a chaotic environment themselves. So then right-wing media can then say that's a riot because it looks like one. No, not a riot. Doesn't pass the test. So, and we were seeing a lot of that in Portland. I still think that's happening, but a little bit less. I think a lot of the other MAGA, like you still got Nick Sorter and a couple others out there, but the other idiots are like, there's only so much grifting they can do, only so much grifting they can suckle out of it, especially since you got the shutdown now and SNAP benefits are gone, and they're just going to have less support from a lot of people that would support that type of behavior. But yeah, so a riot has to pass my personal test, and I have every right to be able to litigate what a riot is. Yes, me, Mercado Media, myself, I do. In an interview with the Washington Post, Bavino said officers want a peaceful resolution and are using less lethal devices like chemical agents to create peace and to save lives. The alternative, he said, is far darker. Say God himself came down and took them all away, he said, referring to the irritants. Officers would be left with lethal devices. Would you like that, he asked. I wouldn't. Gaslighting prick. So, would you like, oh, so the only thing we can do left is just shoot them. That sucks for what's going on here. That tells you the mindset of the federal government. If they're like, oh, we can't gas this neighborhood, there you go. If we can't gas the neighborhood and flashbang, look at this shit. This ain't a this ain't no protest area. This is just some suburb, some neighborhood on the 14th. Not justifying it at all. I'm just being real. Like, you have certain quote unquote protest zones, right? You guys have seen them. Like, for example, in Portland, they're at the ICE facility, right? Minneapolis, there was like, they had the George Floyd Square, which still exists and is still being supported by the community. But you have certain protest areas where people like go to and congregate around. This is just some neighborhood. Gassing the fuck out of it. Okay, and that's a regular thing. It's not like a one-off. That's how they're acting in Chicago. And people in Chicago are like, help. Like, they're doing it. This is how they're acting. That's why you have people following ICE. They're not just like, oh, like MAGA's trying to make it like, oh, they have a different opinion or whatever the fuck cringe ass shit is that. It's because of how they're acting themselves. And you got people that are like, oh, we better follow these fucks because of how they're treating our neighborhoods and how they're acting. So they need to be followed, and it's your right to do so. And then to gaslight and say, would you like, we'll only be left with lethal force is insane. And then you had Trump last night, which we should review that. I'll have to probably edit out. Oh man, 60 minutes is sauce. I think I'll be okay though. I haven't done it. I haven't tried. Hopefully they've toned it down because it's newsworthy. I'm going to try it. I'll take one risk. I'll take a risk. But he said in the 60 Minutes interview that they haven't been doing enough. I don't want to watch the whole thing. They have like a 20-minute clip. Because once you've seen Trump, you've seen it all. I don't give a shit. They have the full one, though. There you go. And it has, well, they both have millions of views, so pick whichever one you want. But I've an hour and 13 minutes of him is insane. Like, we already have to sit through that. We already have to sit through it. I'm going to try. 60 minutes. You better not. I swear to God, dude. No, right? The whole point is they have the full control of the government. Republicans control the Senate. They control the House. They control the presidency. They have the Supreme Court. They have to negotiate with the minority party, right? Not be like, you have to vote with us too. And it's like, we have to have full control of the government and some Democrats too. Yeah. And then we can steamroll this thing. Are you fucking out of your mind? Get the hell out of here. This is the first time I've seen at least these cringe Democrats do something. And they're standing on it. And yeah, it's gonna hurt people. We had President Trump go into the office saying there's gonna be a little pain. There's gonna be a little pain. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. I mean, if they don't do anything, then there will be a lot of pain long term. If they don't stop this, because it has to do with the Affordable Care Act funding. Okay, and they need to approve that, and the Republicans are trying to delay it and kick it and not really do it, not really get the funding taken care of. So then it's all, either way, all this is all part of Project 2025. I don't even know why I need to get into it. That's why I'm trying to pull back from the politics of it. I understand it, but at the same time, all this is part of Trump's plan. Okay, so it doesn't matter. They needed the government to shut down. They're gonna have martial law eventually, like. We're all living in that, okay? So no matter what the politics of it all, I honestly care less now. I just gotta be real, but I'm still cringe. I'm my bad, okay? But it's just because I understand what's happening. But at the same time, this is Trump. Trump and Stephen Miller all want this to happen. They don't give a shit, really. Okay, so my bad. Got a little carried away there. But either way, though, like, to blame the Democrats for this is wrong. Okay, it's not the Democrats. They're actually doing something finally. Do you have a policy? No, they still don't. He's been president now for 10 months, right?
My understanding is if those healthcare subsidies are not extended, premiums will double.
Yes.
For many of the people that
Yes, they will. So you have an issue with SNAP right now, which it looks like Trump's willing to like help a little bit. It looks like I have an article on that. Whatever, but the healthcare premiums though will double if not extended, which they need to be, because the Democrats didn't fucking codify it yet. Just when they have power, when the Democrats have power again, I swear to God, dude, if they are like, we need to compromise. I'll go Joker mode. I swear to God, if that would, because the Democrats will get power again, especially after the Trump's disapproval is at like 63% right now. Like it'll swing back somehow, like in the House at least. We'll see about the presidential election. That'll be interesting. I'm not talking about the presidential election. I'm talking about like the way that Congress is. But if they do nothing though, and they're just like, no, the Republicans, when the Republicans are acting like this right now, and then they're using Republicans are also using every government entity to lie and have messages in the airport saying this is a Democrat shutdown, and like use the full weight of every tool of propaganda they can to be like Democrat shutdown and lie. If the Democrats come with some mid shit, there's no reason for me to even want to influence for any of it. Why would I? Loser team too for me. I don't want to be a part of that loser ass mentality shit. I'm sick of it. That's just how I see it. Are you actually gonna fight for people, or get the hell off, or go somewhere else, do something else? Go be a rich person for a corporation. They'll take you. Okay, but no politics though. Go fuck off. That's how I see it. Okay, if they get in there, because when they're gonna get the pendulum will swing. It's psycho right now, so people will go Democrat because that's the only choice that we ever have. But then when they get that power, if they do nothing with it again, it's cooked. They're going to be so cooked. I think tomorrow's mayor race will be a good litmus test on where the Democratic Party itself is going to go. If Mamdani wins, which you got crazy. I don't want to keep jumping around. We'll get into that next. But you got crazy Cuomo Cope going right now. Really quick. I got to show you really quick. Crazy Cuomo Cope. I had to repost it. He just posted this at 9:30 in the morning. If you want President Trump to try to take over the city, the National Guard on the streets choking federal funding, vote for Zohran Mamdani, because Trump just said he will be coming, and this poser Mamdani won't be able to stop him. This really what? This is a fact. The next mayor has to be able to get us more, not ensure our demise. I am the only person in this race who can do that. The only fucking criminal. Cuomo Cope before the election. I'm not trying to jump around too much. A lot's going on in the politics. But this is, what are you saying? What are you even saying? We'll get back to this next. And then we'll watch the SNL thing. Okay, we got to stick to the 60 minutes. We'll get through this, and then we'll get to the SNL fun. Okay, just get through Trump here so you guys can really understand, because I think he mentions in this clipped part about ICE activities, and she asks him about the ICE in our city. That's what they're hoping. That's what they're hoping for. They're going to keep pounding propaganda and then try to shift blame the whole time, which is like conservative MAGA shit all 101 for everything. If you haven't noticed. That's like their main tactic for all of it.
And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to agree with something else. I think we should do the nuclear option.
I don't think you should. Honestly, I think you should. I don't know. It'd be good and bad. That means ending the filibuster, which ends it's just the majority, and that means that you don't require the 60 votes. And that will not be good for the GOP. Because the GOP tries to keep in status quo shit. Democrats do too, but you at least have Democrats that here and there, onesies and twosies that get in there, that are progressive, that will push forward bills here and there. Sometimes. And then you got the Republicans that have to stop that. And without the filibuster, then the Democrats, when they get power again, will be able to do basically what Minnesota did and just fist through a whole bunch of like left-wing politics, which Democrats should be doing anyways, if that's what they're running for. I continue to say that if you're actually running for people that are voting for you, you need to do politics for them, not bipartisan bullshit, especially with these Republicans that they're acting like this. There's no way. You're out of your mind. lose power. So he also, keep in mind, okay, you got layers of this. It's like an onion. There's layers, and you have to be aware of all of them. And it's like a multiverse kind of, but like it's all important, right? The deeper you go, the more you pull out. So you pull out deeper. Trump obviously wants to stay in power again. 2028 is going to be him running again. Okay, he's going to do it. He will do it. I'm just letting you guys know now. Clip this, and then if I'm wrong, thank God. But I'm going to be right. So clip it, and then you can, in 3 years from now, we'll be talking about it. He's already got the hats. He's already doing merch. They've already had it at CPAC. There will be a third Trump term, at least an attempt. And that's when shit's going to get real around here. Okay, but until then, you got them kind of teasing it right now. They're doing soft launches. We're not going to lose power. That's why they want the filibuster to end. Okay, because they're like, the filibuster ends, then we can really do just then you don't need then they're just going to keep trying to get bills through that'll just do nothing but enrich the elite and destroy the lower class and working class, actually. Okay, and destroy it, and then it'll just, they're going to fist through bills, because then they're not going to need Democrats at all, which is what Trump does. Trump wants that. Stephen Miller's telling him that behind the scenes. Mr. President, you get rid of the filibuster, I mean, you're going to be in power again anyways. You're going to be president again anyways, right? The fuck we care if the filibuster's ended. Those Democrats aren't taking power again. Okay, but then you got to go with you got to go with another layer of, hey, we can't just give up either. And also you got to remember that if their plan does fail, right? If Trump's plan, Stephen Miller's plan does fail, ending the filibuster will destroy the Republicans, right? It's a game. That's why John Thune and the majority leader don't want to play that game, because then it's like, hey, then we have the Republicans, if they end the filibuster, they have to almost full. That's like a absolute tell that they are going for Trump again, and they're going full, no more voting. No more, we're in a dictatorship, or they're going to be, not yet, but they're going towards it for sure. Or like, that's what's going to happen if they end the filibuster. But it's still a gamble though, right? It's still a gamble. It's not a guarantee that any of that would happen. It's not a guarantee that, Trump and Stephen Miller's plan will work. Because I still believe in the American people, not to be a cringe, but I still do. I still believe in people that, we're going to fight back against this, and it's not going to go down how they want it to. I hope so. It's a lot of hope. It's hope. It really is. It's hopium. But I think that there's a possibility for that to be derailed. And then if that happens, right, which is still hopium, if their plan is foiled and they end the filibuster, then that gives the Democrats, then they don't need Republicans anymore in the Senate. And then the Democratic Party, when they take power, if Stephen Miller and Trump's plan is foiled, then Republicans will be useless. They'll truly be useless, kind of like how they want Democrats to be right now during the current government. It's bad. I think Republicans should just be adults. I know they can't right now. It's impossible for them, but they should negotiate and not end the filibuster. But ending the filibuster would be interesting, at least. I think it would be interesting. It'd be bad right now, I think. It'd be bad, but again, that would have to, there would have to be a fight in terms of like people getting involved politically and really getting people to vote. Sucks. It's so cringe. But you got to get people to show up at least. You got to get people involved. If you're voting already, there's nothing more you can do really, except for protest and get other people to vote. That's what you have to do. You have to get people that don't vote to vote. And that's the only reason, because you can't vote harder. You can't vote. You can't like scribble your vote and like darken it harder, and then like it means more. It's your vote. I'm glad you vote. That's a good thing. But we got to get more people involved to even impact all of that, and to impact Stephen Miller's plan and Trump's plan. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should the filibuster be ended? I think it is a nuclear option. Something Trump's honest about. He wants to end it clearly, but it will help them. It will. They'll be able to open the government and then also fist through whatever they want to do. But it would be politically really bad for them, because they clearly want to do fascism, and his approval rating is tanking because people are seeing it. Like regular people that aren't politically connected are seeing it, which is good. That's the thing. That's the people that you need to reach. You need to reach the people that have no fucking idea what's going on out here. That's the people you got to talk to, and the ones that you need to be like, this is what's happening. And the filibuster? What do you guys think? Yes. No. Yeah, the filibuster exists to prevent an authoritarian party, but like we have that already, and they already are acting like that anyways. You know what I mean? Just I don't know. I would need it would require somebody that has a degree in political science that would be able to weigh the pros and cons, and it's not me. Okay. Coffeezilla did a good video on this one.
Profile of the Trump family.
I've tried. It's like trying to understand cricket, the sport. I just can't understand fucking Bitcoin. I don't get it at all. I don't understand the craze with it. I don't understand people. I don't get it. So Coffeezilla is on top of it. It's mostly a scam.
Crypto firm World Liberty
people
Financial
buying nothing and spending money on fuck it all.
Helped boost the profile of the Trump family's crypto firm World Liberty Financial.
He pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws.
Right.
The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant
Coffeezilla
harm
understands all of
to
it.
U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is. I know he got a 4 months.
I don't know who he is. So are you auto penning your pardons? Who's doing the pardons? Stephen Miller? I don't know who he is crazy.
And at the time said that
That's what he said about Project 2025 too. I've never heard of it. I don't know what it is.
he had called a left-wing version of you, charismatic, breaking the old rules.
Left wing, ew. Who gave her that one? Because he's a populist. That's why. Nothing even close to Trump. He's younger, way more attractive than Trump on all levels. Can connect with the actual like lower class, working class. Trump connects to white nationalist working class. Okay, all right. Who gives a fuck? They're phasing out anyways. That's why they're crashing out, and they know it. Genetic issues. Fucking losers. The white nationalist motherfuckers. Skill issue. It's your problem. Anyways, the rest of us, the rest of the middle and lower class individuals, Zoran's connecting with everyone. And he's doing it in ways that the Democratic Party should be, but like cringe. Like they on social media and using the social media to help with it a little bit, or like just being out there. Like his thing today, I think Zoran's like just out there today. He's just like out there walking around in New York City. Yeah, or he was doing a march today. He set off to walk the Brooklyn Bridge. As the sun came up, we were joined by canvassers, labor leaders. There you go. Actually working with the working class. That's why. And you will have MAGA that vote for him too. Because MAGA was, a lot of MAGA were like Bernie supporters that just got confused into right-wing world. A lot of MAGA are. They were Bernie, and then they saw Bernie get screwed by the Democratic Party, and they're like, oh, fuck the Democratic Party, and then Trump sold them a lie. And a lot of them just have stayed like that. I'm not like making excuses, I'm just being honest. So if the Democrats continue to put up people like Zoran, you will have MAGA fall off of it and start voting for people like Zoran. And then you'll see the Democratic Party crash out, and it'll be fun. And then you'll really learn what's going on. What do you think? Doing it. They've been doing a test. Russia does like 2 tests a year or some shit. They do one in the winter and the summer. That's their thing. So are we gonna, oh my God, dude. This is gonna MAGA. Here, you guys want to see a glimpse into the future? There you go. This is gonna be MAGA though. Maybe you're gonna have Nick Shirley and the MAGA out there. Here you go. MAGA in like 6 months from now. Trump's got to go show his big fucking missiles like Kim Jong-un does. Bonsai! Like fucking send it. This big rocket. Look at this. Yeah, not the... Yeah, check. What time is it? Nuclear option time. I'm gonna break my glasses. Who takes the glasses off? Uh-oh. No, there you go. No, where's the whole video? No, you're ruining it. You're ruining our Rocket Man video. Damn it. No, you gotta watch the whole one. Do they have the full one? Is it this? No, that's 2 weeks ago. He's showing more missiles. Damn it. Oh, here you go. Yeah, there you go. You guys can't be cheated out of the whole thing, dude. The fuck was that? We can skip this little part though. So you got to there, here you guys. There you go. There you go. Come on, can't cut your propaganda short. There you go. Big rocket. The big chungus. Look at that. So this is what Trump is. This is going to be MAGA and Trump. They're going to be showing off his missiles. Wow, Mr. President, you have massive missiles. The Democrats could never. Mr. President, your rocket is massive. The liberals will surely be triggered about this. Epic.
발전상을 온 세상 마지막 공정들까지 하나하나 세심히 지도하시면서 공화국 국방력의
Much chungus rocket.
온 세상에 과시할
Yeah, where's the... It gets intense. Wait, there you go.
경의하는 김정은 동지께서 국방과학연구 부문의 지도 간부들과 함께
The slow walk.
발사 종합 지휘소를 차지하시자 발사 진지와 시험 관측 기술 초소들 관련 시험 연구소들의 대륙간 탄도 미사일
This is gonna be OAN.
17형 시험 발사를 위한 전투 정보가 울렸습니다.
OAN coverage of the Pentagon right here. With the heartbeat. Bonsai! Send it! Big fucking rocket. Big stupid rocket. There you go. They'll have Elon out there with it. It'll be SpaceX or something. Just be ready. This is a glimpse, guys. This is what you guys are gonna see, but MAGA and OAN. Big fucking rocket. So scary. Okay, so they do it so that way you can be like, wow, so impressive, Supreme Leader. Wow. Supreme Leader, I can't believe your power. Oh no, we missed the music. Hold on. No, hold on. No, no. No. There you go. The music's the best part. So inspiring.
우리 국가의 존엄을 싣고 힘있게 솟구쳐 오르고 있습니다.
Such victory. Ultimate victory.
미사일 시험 발사는
Big rocket launch.
안전을 고려하여 고각 발사 방식으로 진행됐습니다.
Meanwhile, Japan alarms are going off right now.
국제 비행장에서 발사된
And they're like, panic, alert.
미사일 화성포 17형은 최대 정점 고도.
Where's the part where there you go. There you go, Supreme Leader watching it. There you go.
이번 시험 발사를
We'll have Trump doing that too. That's a Trump thing too.
모든 정수들이 상대상 요구에 정확히 도달되었으며
There you go. Then ultimate victory for the Supreme Leader.
대성공으로 평가됐습니다.
Hell yeah. Yes.
국가 핵무력 건설 계획에 따라 조선민주주의인민공화국
That's MAGA. That's what MAGA propaganda is, though. The same thing.
이 조대
We'll have a picture of Trump.
탄도 미사일 화성포 17형 무기
As soon as the rocket goes off.
공화국 핵전쟁 위협과 도전들을 철저히 통제하고 그 어떤 군사
No way. The still image. This is crazy.
공화국의 안전을 수호하는 다시 한번
No way.
똑똑히 인식시키게 될 것이라고. 일대 과시화된다고 긍지
They took about the still pics propaganda. Okay.
경의하는 김정은 동지께서는 오늘의 이 기적적인 또 한 번의 승리는 온갖 선언하시
So epic, much wow.
압도적인 군사적 공격 능력을 갖춘
And he's so loved. Supreme leader is just loved by all. Look at.
제국주의와의 장기적 대결을
He's one of us.
준비해 나갈 것이라고 말씀하셨습니다.
He's so fun. He's one of the troops.
동지께서는
And then I think they do one where he walks off and they all, there you go. Yep. He's just the best. Thank you, Supreme Leader. Incredible rocket.
우리 공화국의 전략적 지위를
Definitely.
세상에 힘있게 과시하는 데 공헌한 붉은기 중대 전투원들
Victory!
국방 과학일꾼들을 사랑의 한 품에 안아.
Anyways, so that's gonna be MAGA with the nuclear stuff that's coming up. That gives you a glimpse into what's gonna happen. There you go.
Instead of it happens, and he understands the
You'll find out.
answer to that.
Why not
The
send
logistics of supporting Taiwan versus, like, Ukraine was a litmus test if we're gonna do shit for anyone else. Nope. Sorry. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, you know, and then especially like Taiwan is like, how are you even gonna do that? You'd have to have the full weight of the U.S. Navy fighting China. It wouldn't be able to help, like, send, like, you can't do anything. You'd have to have the U.S. Navy like run on the other side of Taiwan, putting whatever into Taiwan to help. There is no like in Ukraine, for example, you have NATO countries on the backside, and then they get aid in through the entry point to Ukraine, for example, to help fight Russia. This would be, you'd have to have direct conflict with China to help Taiwan, because, and then to even have the political will for that would be non-existent at this point. It wouldn't happen. You wouldn't have that. You would have people in both parties against it. Like, you'd have some that would be like trying to help Taiwan, but there's zero, especially with what Trump's doing in the country right now with ICE and the militarization of the federal government. You're going to have the minimal amount of political support for any type of a conflict to help Taiwan right now in this period of time. Plus, again, the logistical nightmare it would be, and the U.S. Navy and other Western navies would be directly involved, and we'd be fighting China in the ocean. Naval combat for sure. I told you guys about the farmland part. He supports it. He gives them subsidies. He works with them. Wants more of it. You know, that's what's so cringe about like the America First losers. You know, America First in your shit. It's all of the foreign countries that have power are coming in and buying your shit, buying rural areas of the country, buying it up, and you're gonna see Russians all over the place, and China and people from China all over the place, and businessmen in your small town soon, because that's prime real estate, and your shit, rural ass shit, can't afford to keep it up. Republican politics are killing it. Conservative politics are killing small towns, destroying it. But guess what? They're selling out. They're selling out, and they're bringing in the Russians. They're bringing in the Chinese. They're bringing them in. And they're buying up your shit. Or if you're listening, if you're from the rural areas, like, they're buying up rural parts of America because it's cheap.
It's like everybody else.
Yes, we do it too. Yes, we do it too. We do it the other way, but we're getting it now. We're getting it back. Is this the Barry Weiss section of or who owns CBS now? Who's tougher to work with, really? Is this when it gets soft? Was that the only hard part of the interview? Okay, we can be done. Because CBS sold out. I forgot. What's your favorite? Ask him what his favorite caller is next. Who's harder to work with, Putin or Xi? Wow, incredible question. Okay, so one of the things they talked about, obviously, is the upcoming mayoral race in New York. Larry Ellison. Really? It was Ellison? It was Ellison that bought it? I just have names in my head. I just be throwing names out there sometimes. Andrew Cuomo is trying to call that, hey, if you vote Zoran, then Trump's going to send the guard. And, well, no, Trump will take over the city, and Zoran won't be able to stop him, but I will. It's such a crazy way to put the. I don't even know how to really respond to that. And what do you say back to that? I think Zoran himself has done a really good job of kind of deflecting a lot of the stupid hate, though, and stupid questions. Like, he got a question, are you the future of the Democratic Party? And he's like, I'm just kind of focused on winning and being a mayor for New York. Yeah, but are you the future? Are you the face of the Democratic Party now? I'm just trying to win the election. Like, that's what he's basically like. CNN going up to him. Here he is marching this morning. Until the culture of the Democratic Party changes, you don't want to be the face of that right now. Until that culture changes into like immediate support for politics like this, who'd want to be the face of it? So that way they can attack you easier. They can say, oh, the Republicans are attacking us because of Zoran. Was it cold this morning in New York? Out there early in the morning. Did I save that bookmark? Let me check my bookmarks. No. Oh, Ben Shapiro went off about the Groypers today too. We can watch a little bit of it. I don't want to watch 40 minutes of Ben Shapiro, but you got over the weekend. You had an interview with Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, who I've been telling you guys about. That there's a younger, absolute full-on Nazi movement coming that's going to be taking over the Republican Party soon, and it already kind of has. You have like white nationalists, but I'm talking about Nazis, and they're coming. The Republican Party is not returning to like some type of traditional I don't even know. I don't even know. They're not returning to it though. What did I save? Oh my god. I was just saving some. I swear I had another one. Oh god, I have things to talk about. Well, I was sick. That's one thing though. We'll get to the Portland stuff. I want to talk about that. DHS had this video.
I wondered what was wrong with me. My friends all fall so easily. Running. I leave by my cars. Running.
Do you think they're gonna have 21? I don't know. 21 Savage is gonna copyright them. They've been getting copyrighted left and right with their just using music and shit.
Running.
I bet I tell you guys though. I told you that when the very first video that they made, like an edit like this, was when they were deporting people to Bukele's country, which one is that? And they had the bus, and then they shaved their heads, and they had some crazy fascist, crazy music to it. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna be using that for when they're gonna be using that type of propaganda for everything. And they are. It continues. Run with the pack. Run with the pack is insane. Really? Why didn't you post the clip of them tripping and falling? Like status. I think this is status coup over here. This is before I went there, and they were just tackling people and chasing people. Run with the pack is nuts.
Running.
El Salvador, yeah, the CCOT video.
These knows it was running.
Anyways, I had another mayor race, or mayoral race video that I wanted to look at. Zoran. Oh, there you go. Zoran posted this. Trump said he'd vote for Cuomo from Sam Stein. Trump endorses Cuomo. Congratulations. I know how hard you worked for this. That's not what I was looking for, though. It was a CNN clip. The only person fleeing after Tuesday. Maybe was it on YouTube? Said our time is now.
Go get him, Mr. Mamdani. Thank you.
Go get him, Mr. Mamdani. I hope he wins. I hope he wins. You got. Should tell you. I mean, it's just grow. You got against. He should win easily. It's the. Remember to vote tomorrow in New York. Bear in mind that a vote for Curtis is really a vote for Momdomi, or whatever his name is. Nice. In case you guys cared what Elon had to say about the election tomorrow. We should watch that now. In the perfect time. The cold open. Whereas, yeah, the mayoral debate. This shit was so funny. This shit was so goddamn funny. All right. I'm glad SNL is back, though. Okay. Yeah. Do you guys care about Elon's take on things these days? I don't think so. The hard part about this is that the comedy of like what's happening and like it's hard to meme it when it's already memeing itself. So that's what makes this extra challenging. Could do a good Newsom too. I think Miles Teller could do Gavin Newsom. He kind of looks like Gavin Newsom, but Cuomo. Cuomo accent. That was pretty funny though. Always good to have that. Good to have that while things are going on. Meanwhile, immigration agents crashed into a U.S. citizen on her way to work, then dragged her out and arrested her. What the heck? Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Hit and run! Hit and run! That's a hit and run! Hit and run! Hit and run! That's a hit and run! Hit and run! Hit and run! Yeah. Look,
guns drawn?
That weapon! Yo, watch out! What's wrong with you?
This happened a couple weeks ago already.
Yo! What's wrong? You hit her! You hit her! You guys hit her! You guys hit her! What's wrong with y'all? Y'all hit her? Y'all bust a whole U-turn in the middle of the street! Y'all hit her! Y'all on camera! Leave her alone! She ain't even do shit! She trying to go to work! She's trying to go to work! What the fuck? Oh, what? Crazy shit!
What weapon is this too? Jesus, guy gets a fucking what is that a? What is he armed with? Some submachine gun? What the fuck is that?
No heart, for real. No heart.
Jesus.
No heart.
Stop! Get off!
Crazy.
Get off!
She's a female.
Get off of her right now!
You guys hit her. How you guys gonna arrest her?
Get off!
You guys hit her. Man, how y'all gonna arrest her, man?
I don't think that's an MP7. No, it looks different than an MP7. And then this is their content creators, so they make content out of this.
Hit her.
So people like this dude's doing photos and videos.
You guys hit her. Whole lawsuit right there. Believe that. I'm telling you. Don't get your issue. Keep fucking around in Chicago.
No, it's not a UM.
Keep fucking
No.
around in Chicago. Hey, baby girl, you good. Don't worry about it. Stop resisting. Don't worry about it. We need that information, bro. Ah, bogus as fuck. They just gonna leave a car?
So that's what's going on out in Chicago. Chicago Tribune. Diane. Oh, I don't have an account. Let me see if I can get the. Let me see if it was laundered out. See here quick. See Diane Figueroa. No, not Dwayne. Diane. A citizen dragged from car by Border Patrol in Chicago. Yeah, this was on the 23rd. Chicago woman told Newsweek she was forcibly removed from her vehicle by federal immigration agents. Diane Figueroa, U.S. citizen and paralegal, said that an unmarked government vehicle struck her car at the 1600 block of West Hubbard Street in Chicago on the morning of October 10th while she was on her way to get coffee. I was in shock and terrified. Instead of handling the situation as a routine traffic incident, the BAS agents, armed in hands, forcibly removed me from my car without questions, without informing me that I was under arrest. So, when you got MAGA that's like, they're just going after the most criminal and that's what we voted for. You got citizens getting pulled out of their vehicles without any type of due process at all, or any type of anything. No, nothing. No, nothing. And then they're the ones that hit you. They hit your car, and then you're in trouble for it. Because they pulled some U-turn.
Yeah.
Stupid. So in Manhattan, excuse me, going back to the mayor race, you can vote early in New York right now. I believe people have been doing that, which is cool. Are they gonna have early numbers, or let me see here. New York mayor election. Live results. We could do probably tomorrow night we watch the results come in. In person, okay, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll probably do results tomorrow night. We'll watch the results tomorrow night then. New York mayor race. It's a big deal. You know, like it's like it's a direction that the Democratic Party could take. Like we'll see though. Hopefully. TDS is Trump devotion syndrome, and it's incurable. I mean, it's curable, but they have to fall off of MAGA. Okay, so we'll look at this tomorrow then. Tomorrow night. You're already there? Hell yeah. Put a 1 in the chat if you're in New York and you're voting. New York City mayor race. There's also the vote for the Minneapolis mayor tomorrow, yeah. I don't know if I don't know if I can vote in that being in a Minneapolis suburb. I don't think so. Broadview is bad Saturday. Go to Coup video. Yeah, I pulled it up at the beginning of the stream. We reviewed status coup journalism and also why I couldn't go out there. Still recovering from being sick over the weekend. I'll be good by this week though. We got protests coming up. You're in Deep Red, West Virginia. You voted Democrat in Washington State. How many other states are having mayor elections tomorrow? Wonder how many else. Did you get a voter's pamphlet? No. I did not. I'm feeling better now. Yo, what up everybody? How we doing? Welcome. What up? We got Twitch tuned in, 420 voting in Colorado. Nice. We got the California voting for the redistricting. I know that's happening. So good voting day tomorrow then? We'll see, I guess. Tomorrow could be a good voting news day to see gauging where we're at under this Trump presidency. I bet you there's going to be a lot of Democratic wins. A lot of wins for the Democratic Party. And if you're like, I know I have MAGA watching. I know you should watch, and people, it's what your shit's doing. And your shit is not the move right now. It's not the wave. The wave of MAGA is like they're like hiding. I mean, what do? What's there to support? What is there to support right now? Nothing. It's like dark times right now. Thank you, Sator. Thank you for the gifted. I appreciate that. I've heard anything about DC on Wednesday. I've only heard about it from MAGA. Oh, I haven't heard anything about DC. DC coming up is going to be in November, which I do need your guys' support. Do need your guys' support a little bit to help. There's connections to get lodging, I've heard. So I'll look into that. But in terms of like the flight, see, I posted it on my announcements. We got the upcoming Remove the Regime protest. And I've been personally invited by the organizers and people connected. It seems to be like there will be a lot of, like, if you follow anybody that talks about politics or like what Trump's doing and they're like not MAGA, they're probably going to be there. doing their content. So probably going to be there and showing you guys what's going on with the situation. So I'm going to stream it, of course, and whatnot, but also interact with other content creators that are going and other people that will be there doing their thing, doing their content. A lot of people. Dropkick Murphys is performing. I think they're also involved in putting it together. I want to say that they're involved in it. Well, let me see. Remove the regime. We got the website. Remove the regime rally. There it is. It's time to converge on our nation's capital. We the people mean business. Our presence is our power, and this time we're showing up with firm demands and intend to change history. Remove the regime is the movement we've been waiting for. This is not a 50-state protest. On November 22nd, we will peacefully descend on the seat of power in D.C. to demand that this lawlessness administration come to an end. We will no longer tolerate inaction or delay from elected officials as Donald Trump commits actual treason. We are calling out their complicity in the sabotage of American democracy unless and until they honor their oath. We are demanding impeachment and removal, and we are demanding it now. We will lobby Congress directly beginning Thursday, November 20th, joined by movement leaders, veterans, musicians, comedians, pastors, farmers, social media influencers, and more. The Dropkick Murphys will headline the main event on Saturday. We will have fun, but this is not for fun. We intend to change the trajectory in this country and the conversation around the world. We can only do this if we show up in numbers that are too big to ignore. Take your place in history. Join us on November 22nd in D.C. Okay, so it's not a 50-state one. It's focused in D.C. So here's the schedule. It's probably got to be there like Tuesday-ish on like that week, just so I can make sure I get a place. Probably gonna be a lot of people. So if you guys can't go, you got to support. I'll get a buy me a coffee thing going. Appreciate everybody for helping the buy me a coffee and helping the Chicago coverage and whatnot. I have some of the funds from the last, because I had put up like 500 to go to Chicago, but I didn't go. So there's like 150 in there. So I'll put that towards DC trip. But I'll have a buy me a coffee. You guys can contribute to that, and then I'll do all the live coverage and interact with everybody for you guys, and then talk to you guys about it, of course. So there's going to be a rally 10 a.m. on Thursday, followed by direct lobbying for impeachment and removal, a march to Congress with Representative Al Green. Okay, so we got Al Green's going with all day long. I actually have lobbying experience now too. With Ukraine, so I could actually help with that, and how to talk to Congress, because you can't just go in there with feelings. You got to go in there with a plan. Friday, November 21st, 2 p.m. Veterans Rally at Flair. Okay, so there will be a Veterans Rally at 2 p.m. There will be, okay, so they're actually doing training then, and how to organize from home. So I'll be streaming so you guys can learn how to do that. It's not hard. You just gotta, you have to have a plan. Okay, there's a lot, like my favorite signs when we're out there protesting are like, it's all bad or whatever. Like people don't know what, they're just like, this is fucked right now. But when you go in there to Congress or you have to go in there with specifics and what you're talking about, it has to be something that has weight to it, and like maybe a bill that you can talk about, or like, if you know what you're talking about, then the Congress person will pay attention to you more. And I learned how to do that with my Ukraine lobbying, right, for the past 3 years, and how to successfully advocate for aid to Ukraine, which we were able to do. GGs to everybody that was doing that. They were just in DC last week too, doing another action summit. But given everything going on, I've just refocused my energy to obviously what's happening with the federal government right now. So I could bring some of my skills to that from learning how to do it with the action summit for Ukraine. Then they got a march and rally on the November 22nd. So you got a march and rally. So they got 3 days worth of events. A whole weekend worth, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I'll probably, I don't know, I'll probably come home Monday, maybe Sunday. I just plan to hang out because I'll probably meet other content creators out there, and we can make plans to do content together on Sunday and walk around or something. Not a whole bunch of people though. Not a whole bunch of people. Plus, there's a lot of cringe lords too, and I want to. I only want to be around like certain people, like Jolly. I'll be where Jolly's at, y'all. All right, that crowd. I could be with that crowd, but there's like some cringe. I'm not gonna be around some cringe, okay? But I support what their efforts are and everything, and I'm not gonna trash them when I'm out there. I'll just be like, I'll be around my people. I'll be around people that I can be effective with. There you go. People you can be effective with, because you're not gonna be effective with everybody. Look at that. They got the Handmaids of Minnesota. I don't know if the Handmaids of Minnesota. Wait, isn't there Handmaids of all around the states? That could be it. I just know the Minnesota Handmaids are they have the biggest group, and they have a protest coming up too. That was sent to me. Let me post it really quick. Invite Matt. You would be found nowhere near a real protest. Listen, I'm not those MAGA fucks. They'll come after the fact. They never know what's going on, and they'll only go to where they can like congregate, so they can be in their safe space. They'd never like independently try to go to a protest and cover it, because then all their narratives would be challenged, and they wouldn't have anyone to like comfort them and be like, "What's happening? The protest sounds based. Help." They wouldn't have like their little group of MAGA to come back to our patriot corner. The protest is making sense. No, it doesn't. Come back. We have pizza over here, and Tommy. Yeah, Tommy over here. Yeah, they start going to these protests by themselves. They'll start to. All right. Here you go. I got it posted in Discord. Am I gonna work with Scam Higby? No, I'm not gonna work with Scam Higby. No, thank you. U.S. protest. Here it is. National Handmaid protest. Join the ladies in red to demand red, which is the rule of law, equal protection, due process. Y'all, everyone knows what the handmaids are for, right? Or is that people? Every post we make with them, I have people asking what it is. Have you guys seen the Handmaid's Tale show? If you haven't, you should watch it. If you haven't watched Handmaid's Tale, it's really good. All right. And it might not sound like something you'd watch, but you should watch it. Handmaid's Tale. It's a great show, actually. Scary. It's kind of scary. It's a dystopian show about a future America where women are basically like slaves to like it's super bad. Like I can't even explain it. Like hyper like Christian nationalist, but in its own way. And like you got these like servants, and like they're the handmaids, and they're used for breeding, and it's into all that. And like you got like I can't remember what the wives are called, of like the husbands or whatever, but they're like slaves basically in all ways. But it's a good show though. And like there's a resistance. I don't want to ruin it for you. Like I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't watched it. But that's like, but the metaphor is why there's handmaids dressed up like this, because of the future of the show that depicts is similar. You can draw some comparisons to our reality with Christian white nationalism and their viewpoint of women, right? And so that's what that's the art of the show, I guess, and like what the show is talking about. But it can be, that's why there's protesters dressing up like that, because of the message that the Christian white nationalists are sending in our reality. So kind of a metaphor thing. Where the F is this picture? It looks like Washington, D.C. Yeah, it looks like D.C. We have pictures on my, let me pull up my Instagram of them though. There's a big Minnesota group. Let me see here. I'm using Instagram a lot more now. You guys can follow me on Instagram, but all photos and shit are there. Yeah, we had good. Where's my pictures? I didn't post my Instagram pictures here. I have to more. I'll make sure I post more Instagram. I'm getting a lot of views on them too. If I'm not taking pictures at these protests, we have photojournalists that are, like Chris June or Sean. And I'm going to try to bring them with me when we go places, because it's hard. It really like to stream and do video and then take photos. It's a lot. Here they are in Minnesota. Here's some of the Minnesota posts. You had 38th Street Media, which is Sean's photojournalism, taking the pictures. Doing a great job. So yeah, Handmaids have a protest coming up. You also have, let me see. There's another one. Hold on. I think Mod Nikki shared it. One coming up on the 8th. And if, by the way, also, if you're in my Discord and my communities, if you have a protest coming up, you can share it. My mods are just careful to not have other streamers try to, or like other like people that do what I do, like try to leech my community. That's all they're trying to protect. It's then like they didn't get the full message that, hey, like protest groups are not trying to leech or anything. They just need numbers of people to show up to their thing. So they're not trying to self promote. So because we do have that issue sometimes. We have people come in and then try to take my viewers and members and stuff for their thing. So we got to be careful with that a little bit. I'm looking for the other protest coming up. Where is the media? It's coming up on the 8th. Yeah. You got one on Thursday, November 6th. I can't find the other one. Mods, if you're on that, if you could share that one from the 8th coming up. Maybe I just have the date wrong and it is the 6th. Well, here's this one. There's a post-mayoral bannering. Lake Street in Bloomington. Regardless of who was elected as Minneapolis mayor, we must hold them accountable to protect immigrant rights. So it's an ICE protest to try to hold the Minneapolis elected mayor, whoever it will be, accountable. Especially since we just had Kristi Noem show up in Minneapolis last week. Or was it 2 weeks ago now? Time doesn't make sense. So you have that one. I swear I had a protest on the 8th coming up that I know of. Oh, no. No, that's from Chicago. Yeah, November 1st. Yeah, that already happened. I'm trying to keep up with them. We have and if you know of any of them too, you can send them to me so we can try to be at them. I think that's it. Maybe I just got it wrong. It is the 6th then. I swear I saw a protest on the 8th. Well, if there is one and I just can't find it right now, just send it. But you can also post in the protest section of our Discord server. And then we'll definitely know what the hell's going on. Like, protest flyers are great. You guys are sharing the status quo stuff. Hell yeah. When it comes to Portland and the Portland protests, it's kind of become a clown show there, hasn't it? And what the MAGA are doing with their coverage. I mean, when you see this, I thought this was a group of Antifa at first, or the Black Bloc. That's Tommy and the MAGA. There's Nick Shorter. And they're all dressed like this. They all went to Seattle and they got sent off. There was a protest in Seattle, but the protest group knows about this fucking cancer, and they sent them off. And they made the protest seem like it was going to be a big Black Bloc action, and it wasn't. There was nobody. They just went up there and there was nothing. So they had their little Portland MAGA crowd go there, and they were sent off. But they all look like the Antifa or whatever, right? So Antifa dresses. It appears that the Antifa in Seattle that Tommy and our patriots are there to find kept moving the location of their meeting. And we're leaving clues in the chalk on the sidewalk. Here is a photo of one of them. And not in the pink chalk. Antifa meeting. Antifa meeting with the. They're not going to be able to find where coordinates are. They put coordinates. Meet in backyard. What are those coordinates? I would like to know what the building that they sent them to is. It's got to be something funny. So good. They assaulted a random drunk woman within the first hour, pepper sprayed her for no reason. I mean, they're going to do that. Yeah, they're going to be little Timu brown shirts. But the protest itself, like they weren't going to, the whole PNW knows who they are. The whole Seattle, Portland, all of it. They all know this group now. So they're not going to be able to do shit. So they're dumb. They're like, look at us. We're going to make attention of ourselves. And we're going to go up to the Antifa protests. And then all of the protesters are like, oh, okay. Well, now we know who's going to cause problems. Let's fuck with them. Meet in backyard. That's hilarious. So they all went up there, and this picture speaks 1,000 words. Antifa are scared after the Patriot weekend. Is that what they're calling that we watched? Portland is now mild. Seattle was a huge joke. Not one Antifa. This shows we can assemble and go as Black Bloc ourselves. What? The dynamic is changing. For sure. It's like the Russians when they invaded Ukraine and were like taking pictures of themselves like, we're here. I can't believe it. Those Ukrainians, they'll never know anything. And they're posting it to like Facebook. They don't know who we are. More on that though. And what's going on out there? From the brigade that's blocked me by now, but Antifa posts hit lists in Portland targeting journalists, huh? From the Washington Examiner. So they're still calling the be on the lookout for they're still calling that a hit list, huh? Their ages and their screen names. Duh. So they're really going to call it that? So they had a list, they had a poster of known MAGA agitation journalists, agitation propagandists going out there and causing problems. This is the kind of scene I'm concerned about happening here in the PNW. Yeah, not the use of force, but the response to the use of force. I don't want to get pepper sprayed. So not the use of force, the response. Who is Antifa's leader? This is who they're calling the Antifa leader. Who is this? I found one. 57-year-old Antifa Darley Lamont Jenkins. Okay. All right, never heard of. They're probably because they can use racism with this, probably somehow. I guess that's the Antifa leader. Never even seen that individual. I'm sure they do great activism, but I've never even seen that person. Okay, they found a Antifa leader. They got to the bottom of it. This is the escalation I was expecting. Stay safe, Katie. Stay safe, Katie. What escalation?
Get him! Get him! Let's go, boys! Let's go!
America.
do something. Thank you, guys. Assault a bunch of pedestrians in the fucking contour. Back up. Back up, bitch. Back up. Fucking coward. Thank you. Yeah, that's right.
Look at you, fucking bitch. Look at your eyes.
What escalation?
Listen to your bitch. Bring it in, faggots. Bring it in, bitches. Fucking faggot. Hey, I'm gay. I can say it.
That's how I mean, yeah, that's so the police do act like that, but MAGA does too. It's a perfect slur for MAGA, to be honest. Where was the escalation happen? No. Wow. This is the escalation I was expecting. Crisis actors. Okay, so they're still crisis acting to the group of protesters out there. Sort of got caught on stream fabricating video evidence for the police yesterday. On whose stream? Whose stream out there? I can't. We watched so many hours of that a couple weekends ago. I just can't keep watching it again, personally. But we watched like 13 hours of it. I had people tap out after a few minutes. They couldn't handle it. Like, I mean, I get it though. You're looking it up about how those freaks are acting out there, and not the protests, the counter protesters. But I have an article on that. Yeah. Charges against ICE This is from the Oregonian. This was posted yesterday. Charges against ICE protesters have changed dramatically. Records show. There's Tommy getting taken away. Most of Portland's police recent arrests outside the city's federal immigration facility that have led to charges involved alleged altercations between protesters and counter-protesters. The charges people have faced in the months since Trump promised to deploy troops in Portland are a dramatic departure from the kind of charges people faced in mid-June when protests at the U.S. Immigration and Customs facility were at their most tumultuous. At that time, Portland police arrested people for crimes such as throwing rocks at the ICE building, shoving officers, and trying to light fires, records show. Since Trump's announcement on September 27th, defendants most often have been charged with pepper spraying, attacking, punching, or shoving their ideological opposites. In fact, altercations between protesters and counter-protesters have accounted for all but 3 of the police bureau's arrests that led to charges since Trump's announcement 35 days ago, an Oregon Live analysis has found. The charges cited in the federal police officers' arrests have changed little since this summer, with allegations of assault on a federal officer accounting for the majority. Counter-protesters were the alleged victims in 9 of the police bureau's arrests that led to charges, half the number since Trump announced he would deploy troops. Anti-ICE protesters were the alleged victims in 6 of the arrests. And an additional 3 arrests had no victim. Federal officers accused Portland police of discriminating against right-wing protesters after officers arrested prominent right-wing media personality Nick Sorter on October 2nd. But the actual arrest data contradict that claim, showing instead that more people have been arrested and charged with alleged violence against counter-protesters than the reverse. Which the counter-protesters are MAGA, okay? Portland State University lecturer Alexander Reed Ross said he's not surprised by the conflicts reported outside the ICE facility because counter-protesters have, historically, contributed to a dynamic that can stoke violence. Counter-protests can actually cause the increase of volatility and violence in situations that would otherwise be under control because MAGA is not just out there to observe. They're out there to counter. They're out there to agitate, provoke, and protest the protest. They're out there to cheer ICE on. But number one, they're out there to distract and agitate the protest while they're out there protesting ICE. And two, when ICE comes out to clear protesters, they're cheering them. They're like, yeah, USA, USA, ICE, ICE, ICE. They're like being like they're cheering for their favorite sports team. Very cringe. So an expert again, far-right movements against the fascist creep. While they approach the situation in the perspective of being heroes and vigilantes, they often increase the lawlessness, as we've seen, or engage in the lawlessness themselves, like Cam did. The Portland Police Bureau strained to say that it was a neutral party when monitoring protests near the ICE facility. The PPB tries not to label people as protesters or counter-protesters or left-wing and right-wing for that matter. PPB is focused on criminal behavior and will make arrests if probable cause is established. Multnomah County District Attorney Nathan Vasquez also stressed that his office is focused on crimes and not ideology. Yes, we are saying that there are conflicts between protesters. We are not tracking what political side of the spectrum folks are on. Vasquez said in a written statement that these are the inner protest conflicts. We are trying to keep the peace. The early arrests since Trump's announcement involved live streamer Matthew Cooper, listed as the victim in two of the arrests that led to charges. He was allegedly attacked on the September 28th by protesters Nathan McFarland and Eric Sanchez, both of whom are barred from approaching the facility while their cases work their way through court. Sorter, the right-wing influencer, was the victim in an alleged attack a few days later. According to court records, protesters Son Mi Yi and Angela Davis were arrested on October 2nd after one of them allegedly chased Sorter with a stick, and another allegedly pushed him into a bioswale using an umbrella. Sorter was arrested that night too, but the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office declined to bring charges against him, of course, because they always get out of it. Conservative online personality Ryan Amaker was a victim in an alleged harassment case October 5th when police said protester Terrell Bowie dumped what appeared to be urine on Amaker's head. Protester Leah Bothamley was accused of hitting a counter-protester in the eye with her phone on October 7th, and Ren Perkerson was accused of pushing counter-protester Harold Alston Smith October 8th. There's Thomas Allen, who's Tommy, of Portland, was another streamer listed as a victim in October 8th arrest. Police accused protester Nathan Khalil of stealing Allen's tripod and damaging his cell phone. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So it's just a bunch of drama bullshit, as we've watched. Just a bunch of bullshit. Just a bunch of nonsense. Okay. Well, that's like the MAGA. MAGA's just out there to cause those issues, though, and distract from people protesting ICE. They're not out there to be observers at all, period. Curtis Sliwa is going down as an all-time villain in New York City for staying in the race. Pulling votes away from Cuomo. Damn, you had 15% vote for that psychopath? Sliwa got 15% still. Nice. California Democrats could safely eliminate all Republican districts if Voting Rights Act overturned. Hell yeah. Fuck it. Oh, wait. Andrew Cuomo hung up in the middle of a radio interview today after the host pressed him on Donald Trump expressing support for him. Andrew Cuomo picks up the phone to call Donald Trump and hangs up when he's asked about it. Dang, Zoran.
Boy was just on 60 Minutes, Cuomo, saying that you're his guy.
No.
No.
Trump said you're his candidate. If he had to pick a bad Democrat or what did he say? Or a communist. Or a communist, he's picking you.
Hangs up.
Hello?
Dang.
I think that they cut him off.
Dang.
I think he had to rap.
You just get, oh.
Dang.
I really wanted to hear that answer. That's what I was going to ask you.
Dang.
It got spicy.
Oh.
I heard a click before the boop.
Dang.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, well. Boy was just...
Damn, Cuomo. No. He said, no, he doesn't. He didn't endorse me. Dang. What the heck?
Assemblyman, any response to President Trump saying he was better looking than you?
Deron, what's the statement? My focus is on the cost of living crisis, bro.
Perfect answer. How about this bullshit? Oh, here you go. Here's Sliwa. Why is CNN giving him attention in the last... Why are they even giving this crackpot any airtime?
If Mamdani,
Other than for the memes, probably. To watch him in his fucking beret.
if Mamdani is elected and he doesn't perform the job the way that Andrew Cuomo, the way that President Trump, the way that others are warning, if he does run the city as a communist, are you going to have any regrets?
Why should I have regrets? I trust people. People are going to make the choice. I'll live with the choice. I'd like them to choose me, but if, perchance, I lose on November 4th, I will improve, not move. I will lead the opposition. I will organize against any of the initiatives that are not in the best interests of people. I will not flee like Andrew Cuomo told his billionaire friends in the Hamptons. Oh, if Zorhan wins, I flee. No, I stay, I fight, not in a physical sense, but in what politics is all about, an organizational sense. I'm a community organizer. I've organized guardian angels all over the world. I understand that you don't surrender, you don't retreat. This is democracy in action. This is people power. Why are we so afraid of letting people make the decisions? Why do we want to leave it in the hands of billionaires, influencers, and insiders? I trust people. I don't trust politicians, billionaires, insiders, or influencers. If they should choose...
And you're running on the Republican Party side? That's nuts.
...someone else, I will reorganize. I will be prepared to stay and fight. I was born in this city. I was almost killed in this city. I'll die in this city. I'll be buried in this city. I'm the true New Yorker in this race.
I was just thinking of Shane Gillis's SNL now. They hung my testicles up on the Verrazzano Bridge. I was almost killed in this city. I'm walking here. Oh, a crackpot. Guy's nuts. Mondami from 21 hours ago. What's he doing? Walking around? Whatever happens tomorrow, never forget this this dodgily positive and hopeful campaign in every way fight. I think he's gonna win. I think Zoran's gonna win.
Assalamu alaikum, milenge. Thank you, Ji. Hi.
I vote for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I just tell my wife you're here.
Thank you. Please give this to her. Thank you so much. How you doing, brother? I'm happy to meet you. How you doing, brother? Love you too. Thank you. Thank you. Walaikum salam ji, kaise ho? Thank you ji. आप वोट किए अब तक?
I'm 67. I retire. I cannot retire.
What are you going to do when you retire?
My payments and 25 years.
You're going to work until you drop dead.
Exactly.
You're going to work. Look at her. Easy. Easy. We need this man.
This is a signature hug. He's a strong guy.
How you doing, brother? For South Asians growing up in New York City, taxis were one of the ways we would see ourselves as part of the fabric of the city. Thank you, brother. Thank you. As much as taxis have been celebrated, as much as they've been woven into the most prominent examples of what it means to be a New Yorker, or the films and the books that we all love about the city, I watched, as did many New Yorkers, as driver after driver was trapped in debt peonage, and their struggles were simply overlooked by politicians. You know, it's time to also speak to New Yorkers for whom the workday starts at night. It's time to actually look to represent them.
I just wanted to say hi, but so many cameras.
It's all good. Yeah,
What are you doing? It's
good, man.
Thank you, brother.
God bless you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Hey, Mr. Mandani, nice to see you. You're gonna be Ben. You're gonna be next man, Mr. Mandani. Next man.
Oh.
Hey, Mr. Mandani. I love you. We miss you. We
Miss you
cannot
too,
wait
man.
you to win the next man.
I started at 8:30 and I quit at 8:30.
8:30 in the morning, 8:30 at night?
Right.
Yeah. How about
Yeah,
you?
9:30 to like a 10, sometimes
9:30 in the morning, 10 p.m. tonight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I started like
Working very
9:30
hard.
to like midnight.
Yeah, soon. Next week.
If you vote. Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you too, brother. Hey, nice to meet you.
She's just excited to see you.
You guys taught me how to campaign.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were telling people, you know, we want to tell the stories of the New Yorkers who are often forgotten. How you doing,
The
ones
brother?
who work while everyone else
Doing
gets
good.
to sleep.
That was my shift at the hunger strike.
Yeah.
Night shift.
Yeah, night shift. Without the night shift, there is no morning for time.
There's no New York City.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Thank you, brother. I'll be there.
Grandpa, you are
Oh
grandpa.
my God.
See, Trump did a LARPing thing because Trump's a populist too, and the opposite, right? Where you can compare the populism of each side, and you got Trump out there dressing up and LARPing as a working class person, right? He went to McDonald's and did his little thing and dressed up as garbage man, right? Trump, right? So Trump was out there acting as if like, oh, I'm working class. I'm working class. Yeah, look, I can do it. LARPing. And then the opposite, the only other thing you can do for populism perspective, because this taps into populist brand, like, oh, he's one of us, right? But like for normal people are like, hell no, how he's a billionaire. He's just because he did that on his TV show. Trump had that as a feature on his show back in the day, where he'd go in and be one of his like maids or some shit in his hotel for a day. And it was part of his thing, a part of the Trump show, The Apprentice or whatever, or another show. I can't remember what it was, whatever, but he did it. And he did it often. And they made a whole show basically about it. I think it got sprung from his shit that he would do. But this was a Trump feature of his TV show, to dress up like workers and act as if he could be them for a day. But the opposite you can do is what Zoran's doing, is actually going and engaging with the working class where they're at. Like out there working, doing their work job. And yes, driving a taxi in New York City is one of those. Every other city will have a major thing that they do. You have taxis in every major city though, but obviously in New York, it's like most people are taking those. And that's a big part of the fabric of the city and like the working class of the city. It's not the only thing. It's like, oh, Zoran's just out there for the taxi drivers. No, it just shows where he's putting his efforts into. That he's meeting the taxi drivers. Like if he's meeting the taxi drivers out there while they're in their middle of that building, I don't even know what that is, where they go in like the hub, the taxi hub at the airport, it looks like, or a station. I don't know New York City like that. I think it's a taxi hub. Then he'll go and meet with anyone. And that's the opposite populism you can do with your politics to this idiot, where he's LARPing. Because you don't have Zoran going out here and dressing up as a taxi driver, right? And be like, oh, look at me, I'm one of the people, huh? I'm a fucking taxi driver. No, he's out there just meeting them and giving them their attention and giving attention to them, which is all politicians need to do, really. Spend like 3 minutes with someone. I don't even know who Scott Adams is. I don't know who most of these MAGA leaders are anymore now. All right. Also, just to just to close this out, because the upcoming right-wing movement of groypers, you finally have, but it's too late though. Like you can't stop it now. And Ben, you are not the thought leader of the right anymore. You're not one of them. You have a lot of people agreeing here, but just listen to him himself. So the only reason I even watch right-wing people is when one, they have anything remotely something interesting to say. And the only interesting thing about this is obviously calling out the groypers and Nick Fuentes, but never to get influenced by, like, Ben Shapiro could never ever influence me politically or anything. At this point, there's nothing that Ben could teach me. There's nothing I could learn from Ben Shapiro about his beliefs at all. No, that's not why you watch this. You watch it for counter information, because Ben Shapiro is a propagandist. He does propaganda, And what he's trying to do with his media is interesting to pay attention to because it shapes opinion and it also shapes the direction of the Republican Party. And he is absolutely one of the people that's helped MAGA get to where it is today, because he was never Trump at first, right? When Trump was running in 2016, 2015, Ben Shapiro sold himself as like, I'm conservative, but I'm not for Trump. I can't do that. And then over time, obviously, Ben's bent over for him, like every other MAGA does. Every Republican that's still a Republican have all bent over for Trump. There ain't none of them that are standing against MAGA. So whenever there's an instance of them standing against anything that they're doing with the right wing, being all of the Christian white nationalism and Nazism that's just kind of taken over the party, I find it interesting. But also just keep in mind that Ben Shapiro is not someone to be influenced by. Okay, he's not someone that, let's go hear Ben Shapiro's ideas. I preface that just like I would when we're listening to Russian propaganda. When we got the Russians speaking, like, I'm not trying to show you that so that way you listen to them to believe what they're influencing. It's more so to understand their messaging and how they're influencing. Because if you understand how they're influencing, it'll help you understand their point and what they're doing. They're not in good faith acting. They're not good faith actors at all. They're just trying to indoctrinate people into their belief system, and that's it. Like nothing else. They don't care about having a free society for people to believe what they want. No, these people like Ben Shapiro and others have hyper-focused, hyper-fixated beliefs, and they want everyone else to have what they are doing and believe their God or believe their thing, and like they have to, and that I don't believe in that at all. You can believe whatever the fuck you want. Okay, all right, so just prefacing that, that's why we're watching Ben Shapiro, because he's calling out Nick Fuentes and the Groypers, which is who's coming. They're next. They're the next leaders of the Republican Party. I'm telling you that now.
Hey, folks, I want to do something different on today's show. We're going to cover one topic in depth. That topic is, I think, the most important thing happening in the country. It was a hot topic last week, but I wanted to take some time to really gather my thoughts and speak on it in coherent fashion, holistic fashion. That topic is the fragmentation of the political right. That fragmentation is being caused purposefully by a splinter faction of people led by a young man named Nick Fuentes.
Which all that is happening, by the way. You know, you got Trump, you got the layer of it, but you also should pay attention to the culture of the right, too. And that's always interesting, because they be fighting. And like they're not together at all. Like Israel's a big issue. And obviously Ben Shapiro, I mean, there's a lot of issues. So like you're gonna have people calling out Ben for what Ben believes, but also his faith and shit and his support for Israel. But that's like a big factor into this. But also the Epstein files, right? And also Trump and the Republican Party not going fascist fast enough. They're not deporting enough people fast enough to create a white nation of America and have the whites rise again. Like that's not happening fast enough for these Nazis. So you have a lot of issues on the right wing right now and a lot of infighting happening.
They call themselves the Groypers. They are white supremacists. They hate women, Jews, Hindus, many types of Christians, brown people of a wide variety of backgrounds, blacks, America's foreign policy, and America's Constitution.
And that's why I'm showing this, because Ben's going to call it all out and position himself as better. And well, maybe not as extreme as you're going to hear from Nick Fuentes here. Ben Shapiro has helped create the culture of Nick Fuentes and have done nothing but make the right-wing rabbit hole that young men go into easier to access. And people that usually wouldn't go down a path of going into Nick Fuentes, you are kind of like the gateway drug. There we go. People like Ben Shapiro are the gateway drugs to those that are like you're going to hear here from Nick Fuentes.
They admire Hitler and Stalin. And that splinter faction is now being facilitated and normalized within the mainstream Republican Party. The main agent in that normalization is Tucker Carlson, who is an intellectual coward.
He always has been. Though. But Tucker Carlson's always shaped right wing for the past 15 years. He's gone off the rails now in terms of like you don't have mainstream conservatives supporting him now because he's cucked for Russia and all types of dictatorships. And they are like, oh, he's bad now. He was always bad. He was bad before he went and sold out to Russia. He was doing the same shit on Fox News. He was doing the same shit, lie, but now he's just found a bigger pool of people to pay him for it. Well, we're just gonna get paid by the Americans? Hell no! You're gonna go get paid by the Russians. You're gonna get paid by Iran. You're gonna go get paid by the Chinese. Why only limit yourself to just American big money? Fuck that. That's how Tucker Carlson's seeing it. But he was always bad. But just because he's doing bad that shit you like, because Ben Shapiro will, like, when it comes to American security, he'll align with like people that are liberal or like more centrist. You'll let Ben Shapiro be more sane sounding when it comes to actual security issues in the world, which I will also probably sound cringe to people that are further left than me on it. But I support our security apparatus. Not always, not in the imperialism part, but when it comes to the waters and the shipping lanes and protecting allies, like I support that. And I'm glad that we're at least running that. Because imagine if like Russia or China were the ones running the waters. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I also don't support the way our military is acting in like Venezuela in the waters and blasting boats without due process. Like that's why you have veterans speaking out against it. Because in general, you're going to have most vets support the security. That's what we serve. Like security is good, but without due process, it is not. And if you're just blasting people out of the water without like seeing if they're even terrorists or drug dealers or whatever, but even then, with the drug dealers, you don't fucking blast them with a drone or you just don't hit precision strikes on them. You bring them in and then you usually try to figure out where the deeper connections are, right? And police work and see if they have a bigger distribution, and because they're just fucking the lowest level transport people out there in the boats. That you usually want to go after the ones in the top, right? If you really want to prevent drug trafficking into the US, you got to go after the top people that are like that are financing it. I don't know, but no, we're just going to start blasting low-level drug transportation boats because they have a lot of motors on them, guys. They're like high-tech motor boats or whatever Trump said, and the drug dust. Okay, so no, none of that is valid. I support security in the world and that America's got a good military, but not if we're using it without due process and just committing acts no different than Russia. That's not good. Okay, but you'll find that though with Ben Shapiro, he'll sound more sane-ish when it comes to security stuff, but then he'll fall off when you hear him about Israel, obviously, because he's a big Israel cuck. So I don't support anything that has to do with Israel in the Middle East. So I'm not with him on that, on CENTCOM shit. But when it comes to Russia, obviously, Ben is one of the few conservative voices that will be right about Russia. It's tough. Boy, when it comes to supporting Ukraine and being actually knowledgeable about Eastern Europe, it is tough, dude. There's a whole bunch of people that are like, it's either you got people that want to help and understand Russia's a threat, and then you have people that are like America bad and West bad, and it's a proxy war, and this is just America wanting to control Ukraine, or like whatever the fuck. It's cancer. It is super cancer. So it's tough when you got like people you're looking at like, hey, who agrees with me that Ukraine has the right to self-defense and Russia is committing imperialism there? And it's like people like Ben Shapiro are there. Like it's like fuck. But it is what it is. It is what it is. If Ben Shapiro can be right about that once, their broken clock could be right, twice a day or whatever. But when it comes to everything else, there ain't nothing else I can agree with when it comes to Ben Shapiro's political influence and where he's bringing men my age or younger into the very evil that he's speaking about.
A dishonest interlocutor and a terrible friend. And Tucker Carlson last week was aided, abetted, celebrated for normalizing Nazism within the Republican Party by the mainstay organization of the traditional right, the Heritage Foundation. Now, before we explain what's been happening, let's make one thing clear. This is not about free speech or cancellation. It was never about free speech or cancellation. Free speech has a definition: the right to speak free of governmental coercion. By
the way, the irony of what Ben Shapiro is about to do right now to Nick Fuentes is no different than the cancel culture movement of like 2015, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever. Because all it was like social media users saying, hey, probably shouldn't have people doing Sieg Heils on the internet. Probably shouldn't say the N-word. I don't know. or like slurs or stuff, and there would be like very, very prominent people doing slurs and doing and basically calling everything Ben's about to call out with Nick Fuentes. So what's the difference? Because that's all the cancel culture era was. So Ben's trying to say, this isn't cancel culture. I'm just calling out what's wrong here, what's right from right. The people that labeled what accountability on the internet was the right wing. They called it cancel culture. Fox News, right wing media called it cancel culture. So therefore it's bad to demand accountability for somebody being socially a troll or just being socially bigoted, right? And they get money, or they get taxpayer money, and they're in a position of influence, and they're out here spewing nonsense, right? And you have as the social public consuming the information, you have a right to call it out and demand accountability for whoever was saying that crazy ass shit if you want to. Okay? Sometimes it did go overboard. Sometimes small cases became bigger than they needed to. And that helped the right wing craft a narrative about the cancel culture wave, about people just demanding accountability. But so now you're going to have the right wing do it. Okay. You've had them do it when it came to Charlie Kirk. Now, when people are posting Charlie Kirk memes, they're losing their jobs. They're having people call to get people fired. Social hatred. You're getting condemned if you post like, hey, Charlie Kirk was a bad person. Actually, what? So are you justifying his death? Are you justifying his death? Huh? Wow. Vile Democrats are so evil, right? So the right wing is completely engulfed and entrenched into this cancel culture that they so stood against for the past 10 years, I guess. When it was just random fucking social media users on X or Twitter back in the day, just calling out influencers for saying the N-word. And then the right wing decided to make those people their heroes. And, we're going to stand for free speech and all this other bullshit. Okay. And now the shoe's on the other foot because you have psychopaths in the right wing because there's been no accountability. Nobody, when you have that reality, when you're so counterculture to where you're welcoming everybody and anybody into your movement because they've been victimized and they're victims of the social cancellation, whatever, you have no guardrails at all. There's no accountability there. So that's why people like Nick Fuentes are going to thrive in that, because then, especially if you try to call them out now, what do you mean? We don't do that. We don't hold our people accountable. What are you, woke? What are you, some lib? We don't do that. It's not going to work for Ben here. I think this is going to blow up in his face.
Believe in it, of course. I've always defended it. Criticism of bad speech is, in fact, just a form of free speech.
Is it?
Cancellation also has a definition. The banning of particular people, including people like Nick Fuentes, from platforms like
accountable. So you sound like a lib. Accountable speech, right? You sound like a leftist, Ben. This isn't cancel culture. This is accountability. MAGA hated that. They were like, nah, it's free speech. It's canceling. You're canceling them. And then we had like fucking 8 years of brain rot debates with right wingers about it, and it's been pain the whole time.
X or Facebook. I believe that Nick Fuentes is odious and despicable, but I've never called for his cancellation. And in fact, I've called for his restoration to those services, despite the fact that I think he's odious and despicable. It is not cancellation to draw moral lines between viewpoints. In fact, we used to call that one of the key aspects of conservatism. It is not cancellation to refuse to signal boost Hitler's supporters like Nick Fuentes. It is not cancellation to criticize Tucker Carlson for rhetorically fluffing Nick Fuentes and other anti-American crackpots. It's not cancellation if you urge others to stop promoting those who rhetorically fluff Nazi apologists. Those are all elements of free speech.
Okay, so when Ben explains it, it's free speech. But when like everyone else is like, hey, Trump or the DHS or whatever, anything ever from like MAGA doing bigoted, crazy shit and be like, hey, that shouldn't happen, then it's cancel culture. But this is accountability culture, guys, when the right wing does it.
And anyone who says differently is lying to you.
They're
and lying for the most cynical reasons to misdirect from their own defense of those Nazi apologists and their promoters. The issue here isn't that Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show last week. He has every right to do that, of course. The issue here is that Tucker Carlson decided to normalize and fluff Nick Fuentes, and that the Heritage Foundation then decided to robustly defend that performance. Those who criticize both Tucker and Heritage aren't canceling. They are quite properly drawing a moral line.
Because
So,
Ben's seeing, because Heritage Foundation helped craft Project 2025. They craft the policy for the right wing, because the right wing doesn't do policy anymore. They do trolling and counterculture, victimhood propaganda, agitation propaganda. They don't have policies. So the Heritage Foundation are the ones behind the scenes doing it. Okay. And so when Ben Shapiro saw that the Heritage Foundation endorsed Tucker Carlson's interview with Nick Fuentes, he's like, they're mainstream platforming Nick Fuentes now. I better finally say something. That's why Ben Shapiro's doing this. But also he's seeing like his former employee Candace Owens like veer off, and there's a lot of anti-Israel shit happening from right-wing shit. So
don't understand what's going on.
He's got to police it
with Nick Fuentes. Now, as I mentioned last week, Tucker Carlson had on Nick Fuentes. Fuentes is a 27-year-old man who's dubbed himself the leader of a movement called the Groypers. He has a large audience of alienated young white men in particular, and he's earned increased media attention over the course of the past few years, especially over the last year. Now, from Tucker Carlson's interview, you might have gathered that Fuentes has some borderline views on race, a peculiar obsession with what he calls
borderline views,
Jewry, and a rather sad relationship with the female sex. But probably you came away thinking that, for the most part, Fuentes lives on the radical edge of normality. You think that if you watch the interview, because Tucker Carlson decided that it was important not only to host Fuentes.
Oh, you mean like you people talk about Charlie Kirk? He's describing the exact media treatment given to Charlie Kirk by the right wing. Because if you listen to Charlie Kirk's show himself, Charlie Kirk wasn't Sieg Heiling and like literally claiming love for Hitler like you're going to hear Nick Fuentes do. But you would have Charlie Kirk talking about let's repeal the civil rights movement. He'd be talking about women the exact same way that Nick Fuentes would. That's why the Groypers and TPUSA had a beef, if you guys don't know. TPUSA and Charlie Kirk's beefed with Nick Fuentes' thing, because they share a lot of the same beliefs. They really do. But and they're competing for people and media time and whatnot, and they're on their own little cults within it. So wild how Ben can see this clearly with Nick Fuentes, but when it came to Charlie Kirk and how the right-wing media treated Charlie Kirk like a darling, and he was just Charlie Kirk's a centrist, and he's not even a extremist right-winger. Now wait until you see the real extremists, which is insane. Charlie Kirk was a white nationalist the whole way through and through. Very interesting.
But to smooth over his views, water them down, and make them far more palatable to a normal audience. As we'll discuss in a bit, this is what Tucker Carlson does for a living. But back to Nick Fuentes. To understand just what Tucker did here, we must actually examine what Nick Fuentes says on his show, and has said for almost a decade, because he was asked precisely 0 questions about any of what you're about to see by Tucker Carlson. Nick Fuentes says women want to be raped.
A lot of women.
Also, and yeah, he's going to say it, but a lot of these clips that he's going to show of Nick Fuentes, because I watched like the first few minutes of this, he's pulling up old clips, which is still valid because Nick Fuentes still believes all of this. Which for me, it's like you could have called him out at any point. If you knew about Nick Fuentes and all of this beliefs, they have a big faction in the right wing. They helped Trump win, and now you're calling him out. That's where I'm at with it. Like you clearly were okay with it until now. It's a problem for you, right?
Want to be raped, and when I say raped, I mean like that sounds bad when I say it like that. But there's like a lot of women that
I should trigger warning. I should say that. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. You're gonna hear Nick Fuentes say some pretty actual vile shit. So just be ready for that. But I gotta show it. I got Ben showing it. I'm telling you, this is the right wing. This is where the conservative movement in America is going, and they're going to this guy that you see on screen right here, Nick Fuentes.
A lot of women want to be raped, and when I say raped, I mean like that sounds bad when I say it like that. But there's like a lot of women that really want a guy to beat the shit out of them. But also they have to pretend, but part of it is they have to pretend like they don't.
Nick Fuentes says that his followers should kill, rape, and die in his name.
Raise your right hand. All right.
Conservatives hate him. Okay, what's a conservative? Who are conservatives? Where are they?
Everybody raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I will kill, rape, and die for Nicholas J. Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes says that women are whores who shouldn't be in politics.
I will continue my crusade against women in politics. It's always like this, and it's so ironic. Women are like, I don't like, when you say, you have to affect the face. When you say to repeal the 19th Amendment, that offends me. That hurts my feelings. It's like, have you ever stopped and considered that maybe if you get offended, there's such a strong emotional reaction to political opinions you disagree with across the board? Maybe that's one of the reasons why you shouldn't be making political decisions. I'm not attacking women. I'm attacking whores. You have no problems, right? I'm attacking whores. I'm attacking sluts. Stupid, dirty bitches.
Nick Fuentes says that Jim Crow was actually better for black people.
Charlie Kirk could say the same
It was
thing.
better for them too.
Charlie Kirk argued this too.
Number one, but number two, who cares? Who cares? You know, enough with the Jim Crow stuff. Who cares? Oh, to drink out of a different water fountain. Big fucking deal. Oh no, they had to go to a different school. Their water fountain in that famous picture was worse. Who cares? Grow up. Drink out of the fucking water fountain. It's water. It's the same. You know, and, even if it was bad, who cares? Who cares? It's better. It's better in general. We all agree it was better for them. It's better for us. Better in general.
Nick Fuentes says that white people are justified in being racist.
Reason that we talk about this, by the way, I know a lot of black people see this and they go, man, why are you always talking about black people, this and that? Because there just needs to be some shame here. Well, there's a few reasons. First, white people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified, to the extent that that means going out of your way to avoid black people when you see them.
Nick Fuentes is a Hitler admirer and a Holocaust denier.
Buddy, it's Führer Friday. It is Hitler Friday. Shut up. It is Heil Hitler Friday, nigga. Heil Hitler, all my niggas Nazis. Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool. So, time to grow up. We're not children anymore. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right, boys? Am I right? Let's go. He was also really fucking cool. It doesn't really sound correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies, and you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, right? Doing 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years. How long would it
No, this is the Holocaust cookie comparison.
take you to make 6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there. The math doesn't quite seem to add up there. I don't think you'd result in 6 million. Maybe 200 to 300,000 cookies. And I think the Red Cookie Association said something like that, probably 200 to 300,000 cookies baked, probably. And in addition, in this hypothetical, I imagine that if you took aerial photographs over the kitchens, you would need to see certain smokestacks to release the smoke from baking the cookies. And the smokestacks would project certain shadows, but I guess they're not visible in the aerial photographs taken over the kitchens. Moreover, if you look at the soil texture, it's really not deep enough for mass cookie storage underground.
Nick Fuentes believes that the Jews start all the wars, that perfidious Jews in positions of power ought to be killed, and says the Jews are filth who have to be removed from the country.
And once again, remember who is responsible for it all: the Jews. They are responsible for every war in the world. It's not even debatable at this point. This has nothing to do with oil. This has nothing to do with democracy. This has nothing to do with liberal internationalism. We are at war with Iran because they pose a threat to Israel's hegemony. That's why we're bombing their nukes, to pave the way for regime change so Israel can dominate the region, because that makes them the most powerful they can be.
And that type of shit is what gets people that aren't Nazis into his shit. And then he'd be like, oh, that sounds agreeable. Okay, okay, what else does he have to say? And then you get them in, then they get you into their little cult, and they get you in there, and then you become a Nazi. Okay, so you guys get it. I mean, that's Ben Shapiro talks about this for 40 minutes. I know who if you don't know, if you think this is like a nothing, you are ill-informed. I have people talking. I can't hear. I get it. You can't hear it. Bad stuff. But it's like going to be our country here. The right wing, the Republican Party is embracing this guy. They are embracing Nick Fuentes. They aren't pushing him away. You got Ben Shapiro rejecting him, but Ben Shapiro has no motion. Ben Shapiro has no motion in the GOP anymore. And he hasn't for like 10 years. Okay? So, and Ben Shapiro can call him out all day long. You helped create Nick Fuentes. You help create people that believe in all of that and like repeat all of that. And you also, because you don't push back against it. You spend time pushing back against it today because you see the threat, and he's very anti-Israel and a lot of other factors too. And then when you see the Heritage Foundation platforming him and Tucker Carlson, like it's all coming crashing down now. And now you feel like you need to say something, but you could have said something. His biggest Nick Fuentes' biggest viewership climb was in 2020 during the pandemic. Because people were at home and needed answers, and people like Nick Fuentes was giving them. Not the right answers, obviously, but they were giving answers out. And hatred and bigotry. So if you think that, this MAGA shit, it just needs to go away and Trump just needs to win and like it's going to go away, you are so out of your mind. You are so not even, you are not in the pulse. Okay? After Trump is the Groypers and TPUSA and Nazis. MAGA is like a whole clusterfuck. A whole clusterfuck of bullshit, and including Nazis. Wait until the Nazis are leading it, which you can argue that some of them are, and Stephen Miller sure is pretty fascist. But, I mean, I'm talking like not from the shadows, because Stephen Miller, well, you can clearly tell that Stephen Miller's running the thing, but he's still like the little henchman. He's not the president. Like Trump is president. Wait till you got these people being the forward facing, like people you hear all day long. And you don't really have a whole lot of pushback from the journalists right now against Trump and MAGA. So just wait. You guys don't know what's coming. If you truly think that just after MAGA, if the Democrats win and MAGA, like they're not going anywhere. You don't know what's coming then. Like I'm just beware. Just be aware of it. Know that it's coming. And if it bothers you and you can't listen to them talk now, wait until it's the mainstream Republican platform, which it already kind of is. Zoran must be deported immediately. Jesus, here you go. This guy is their congressman right now.
I've called for Zoran Mandami to be deported. The only thing
I can't listen to this. I get it. It's hate. It sucks to listen to, but it's about to be the Republican Party, and they're not going anywhere.
I want to see him running for is his gate at JFK on the deportation flight to Uganda.
The deportation flight to Uganda. I think this is the same congressman who said he didn't wash his hand after Netanyahu shook it for like a week or longer. I think he should. Where is it? I bet you somebody has it in the comments. Somebody has it. Oh, there's his Israel pack. Someone has to. Jesus. Where's the post? I usually see it by now. Whatever, I don't know. He said, I think he even tweeted it. I shook the hand of Netanyahu. There it is. There's a reason the first time I shook Netanyahu's hand, I did not wash it until I could touch the heads of my children. There you go. What a weirdo. President Trump makes his Cuomo endorsement clear. Hell yeah. Whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo, what did he say? If communist candidate Zoran Mamdani wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is highly unlikely that I will be contributing to federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home because of the fact that, as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. It can only get worse with a communist at the helm, and I don't want to send, as president, good money after bad. It is my obligation to run the nation. It is my strong conviction that New York City will be a complete and total economic and social disaster should Mamdani win. His principles have been tested over 1,000 years, and never once have they been successful. I would rather see a Democrat who has had a record of success win than a communist with no experience and a record of complete and total failure. He was nothing as an assemblyman, ranked at the bottom of class, and as mayor, potentially again the greatest city in the world, he has no chance to bring it back to its former glory. Where is it? Jesus, what a long tweet. We must also remember this. A vote for Curtis Sliwa, who looks much better without the beret, is a vote for Mamdani. Well, he won't even endorse the Republican? Dang. Whether you personally like Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him. I hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mamdani is not. Well, there you go. You got an endorsement. Trump endorses Cuomo. Jesus. There you go. Cuomo. There's Sliwa. The fuck? Why does he wear a beret? Virginia, New Jersey, remember this. A vote for a Republican means substantially lower energy prices. A vote for a Democrat, especially these two losers who are running, means a doubling. Dang, they're scared. When you have the president of the United, like they're about to lose a bunch of elections tomorrow. Another big endorsement for Cuomo. Damn. Elon endorses Cuomo. Andy Ogles, the 14th Amendment may allow Congress to ban Mamdani from office. They're scared. They're scared of Mamdani. They're going after that Carolyn chick. MAGA's going after the Carolyn, calling her op. I predicted that one. She's like the Carolyn lady. She's the one that is the Antifa. Carolyn, how do you spell her stupid name? Borosenko. I'm probably gonna get some weird result here. Hold on. I don't know how to spell her name. Yeah, Dr. Carolyn. She goes undercover as like Antifa. So now they're having like a little. So basically, Carolyn's saying that she really understands Antifa and she's the real Antifa like expert, and Andy knows a fake. That's what's going on. They're having a little drama. Which, I mean, she's not wrong. She's actually out there, like, going to the book clubs and shit. And Andy moved and ran away to London. So she's not totally wrong. But she's continuing to be MAGA. Oh, JD. Oh, they're all going on her. Uh-oh.
Not long after that, and I saw that in person myself.
Huh? What?
No, he didn't. No, that's total bullshit, guys. Total bullshit. Please stop listening to retarded people on the internet. It happened right in front of me. No, it's not true. It's not. Chandler pulled her off his girlfriend. And okay, I'm going to stop the sound, and I'm going to explain what happened. Chandler's girlfriend and that blonde, stupid girl got into a physical fight. So far as I'm concerned, no, it's cut out of context. Stop making shit up. I will ban any fucking retards who want to make shit up by shilling a bullshit retard narrative. I was right fucking there, you stupid motherfuckers. It happened right in front of me. What happened is
Fight.
and Chandler's girlfriend and that blonde stupid bitch got into a
Right side rebel.
fight with each other. They were instigating each other right in fucking front of me. They got into a fist fight. Some of the men intervened and pulled Chandler's girlfriend off. Chandler intervened and pulled the blonde off of his girlfriend. That's what happened. He then let her go. She wasn't in any fucking chokehold. She wasn't hurt in any way. And then an hour later, the blonde bimbo was running around joking with Chandler's girlfriends like they were.
Doesn't sound like she likes MAGA too much. Hanging around the Antifa book clubs too. The Antifa book clubs getting her.
Best friends at a fucking.
They're converting her.
If the blonde bimbo had been so fucking hurt by Chandler putting her in a chokehold, pinky swear, trust me, bro, why the fuck was the blonde bimbo hanging out with Chandler's girlfriend, laughing like fucking schoolgirls an hour later? So
She's not wrong. They were after the little fight. They were like watching the fight back and were talking about how cool it was.
No, that's not what happened. They took
And like, wow, we had a fight. Wasn't it awesome? Yeah, like I fought you and like we fought and it was so cool. Hell yeah, are we friends now? I mean, so she's not wrong with between the right side rebel chick and the black bloc girl. Beans or whatever her name is.
They slowed it down to make you think
fucking Beans.
All Chandler did was pull her off his girlfriend when they physically started fighting with each other. So don't tell me she was hurt. This is a bullshit conservative retard fucking narrative because there are a lot of conservative MAGA retards down there that are just instigating with Antifa.
There are.
Famous on the internet.
Yep.
It's not fucking real.
They're doing that.
You can argue Chandler intellectually. You could argue Chandler on anything that he and his friends have actually done. But to make shit up, you MAGA retards that make this fucking shit up, you make all of us look bad.
Fight. No. Where's the... I did see the video or the clip. Though apparently the right side was choked out, but not. It's so cringe. Oh, here you go. So after they had their little fight, when we watched all this, like, but not the behind this.
Give me a camera, Judy. Camera, go. Give me a camera, Judy. Let him go. Look back. Give me a camera, Judy. Camera, go. Give me a camera, Judy.
Okay, so I don't know. I didn't see that at all. Okay. Hours later, the blonde and Beans or whatever, his girlfriend, were like talking and laughing. So, and nobody called it. Like, this is after the fact. Nefarious evil Carolyn B says Chandler didn't chokehold the right side rebel. She's lying. Okay, so they're saying that Chandler choked. Okay. And so then that's why the Antifa expert infiltrator was like, no, they're just a bunch of conservative dumbasses. Okay, so then you have JD Delay. This is absolute bullshit. I was right there. The footage she's talking about is mine. Chandler absolutely had the rebel in a chokehold. She was trying to tap and he didn't let go until me and others put hands on him. But none of you, like, why didn't that become an issue until days later? That's all MAGA does. So someone took a video of it and was like, wow, that looks worse than how you guys reacted out there. And then MAGA goes, yeah, wow. That's way worse than we reacted at first. Let's react again, but do it right this time. Ah, we're mad. We're so mad again. That's how right there I was. I had hands on him. Dr. B is lying, and my editor, irrelevant, will drop the raw footage. You can see she's lying. Also, the blatant and unnecessary disrespect against a woman who defended herself is fucking insane. Huge L, Carolyn. Okay, so they're fighting. Does Andy know, even understand Antifa? Does he even get it? Okay. Well, so she's causing problems with MAGA because MAGA's seeing her as kind of like an op now because she's criticizing them because they don't understand true Antifa investigative journalism and they're fucking it up. And the MAGA, Tommy and them are fucking it all up for her. Whatever. Whole bunch of bullshit. Just all of it. It's all just bullshit. And I don't even know why I know that lore. Fucking hate myself for knowing that. Because we had to watch it all weekend, and now I know who's who, and I know what the fuck's going on, and now I just feel like it's just useless, dumb shit lore that I know about. But it might matter in the future, though. I don't think that Carolyn chick is doing more help for the protests than harming it at this point, because all she's doing is going to the Antifa book clubs or whatever, and like going to their little book clubs, and no one even pays attention to her. And then she's like, "I'm infiltrating," and then Fox News will take her. But yeah, whatever. Whatever. Let them eat themselves, huh? Let them eat cake. Oh, Nick Fuentes responded. Here we go. No to Ben Shapiro. No to neocons. No to dual citizens. No to Benjamin Netanyahu. No to cancel culture. No to genocide and ethnic cleansing. No to the Christ-hating Talmud. No to greater Israel. No to our Jewish oligarchy. 65,000. That's, see? Chat that tuned out. I don't want to hear him. He's irrelevant. He's not, unfortunately. Ben Shapiro video, 28,000 likes. Nick Fuentes quote tweet. Over double. The populism is not with Israel at all. No matter what, I'm not with the right-wing Nazis about it. The criticism of Israel is Netanyahu, the Likud government, and the government of Israel, and Zionism, and people in the Zionist belief and how they are acting with imperialism. So you can't, for me, I can't align with anyone on the right with that because they're Nazis about it. They're trying to be Nazis with their rhetoric about Jewish people and a whole bunch of other tropes that's irrelevant to the point, and it actually distracts from the actual criticisms of Netanyahu and Israel. But with the populism of it, you're not going to have people that have nuanced brain with that. So they're going to go, "Oh, Nick Fuentes does not like Israel. Israel bad. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Israel bad. So therefore, Nick Fuentes is right." And so they're going to side with him, and then he's going to indoctrinate them. And that's how it works. People are not that intelligent, y'all. Okay, hate to break it to you. Most people are not intelligent, so they're not going to be able to break that down. They're just going to find a camp of people that are anti-Israel, which is valid, but the wrong one. And they're gonna be led down a extremist rabbit hole. But that's the fault of a lot of people that influenced Palestine for the past 3-4 years. You've had a lot of Nazis in your shit. Like, I've watched it, and I've watched because I've watched it from afar, I guess, from covering Ukraine and Russia's invasion and their imperialism, and I watched the protests and who was in the movement and who was not really pushed away, and it really felt like a lot of, if you were anti-Israel, you were kind of like a part of the umbrella of it, including actual Nazis like Nick Fuentes. It's weird. That's why I couldn't really tap in, because in terms of like being connected to other influencers and try to do what I was doing with Ukraine and connect people and work with other content creators. Like, when it comes to Israel, I'm by myself. Preston Stewart, he's a good top person to talk to. Shout out to Preston Stewart and all of his work he does with what's happening in the conflict and whatnot. But beyond that, like, it's a whole bunch of crazy people, psychopaths or Nazis. Like, you got to criticize Israel and the leadership, without falling into tropes and actual hatred of Jewish people because of their faith. Can't do that. You can criticize Netanyahu nonstop though. There's so much to criticize. There's actually so much to criticize. I don't know if you're being honest, I don't know if you'd even have time to go into the bigotry and be bigoted towards Jewish people because of how much bad Netanyahu and the government has done. How would you even make time for bigotry? You don't need it. It's lazy. You don't need to be bigoted towards Jewish people to make a point about Netanyahu. He does it himself to show the destruction in Gaza. It's just lazy. Anyways, so that sucks that all this is happening, but this is all, I mean, let them eat cake. Ben Shapiro helped create the Nick Fuenteses of the world by being a cuck, by being a fluffer, as he called Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson. He was a fluffer for MAGA. He had anti-MAGA principles for as long as it was politically viable for him. And then once it was no longer politically viable, he became MAGA and like a MAGA light basically. And Trump's good and you got to vote for Trump. And so let them all eat each other, I guess, huh? But still, it's important for you guys to be aware of who's players out here. So that's why I show you who's doing what. All right. I think I'm good. I think that's it. I think I'm done. 3 hours. It's already nighttime out. It's already 13 p.m. outside. It's like 5:30 and it's dark. I hate daylight savings. When I'm running for president, we're getting rid of daylight. It's no longer. It's such a stupid thing. I can't stand it. Like and subscribe, guys. I'll have a buy me a coffee donation goal up soon to help get me to Washington, D.C. at the end of November. We'll talk about it every day. We'll be back out into the streets this week covering protests taking place here in Minnesota. We'll be tracking Chicago and Portland. Obviously, try to get back there if I need to. But we got our own protests here in Minnesota. So stay tuned for that. Thank you to everybody for supporting Mercado Media. And it will be on my gaming channel. Now I'm going to do Jurassic World will be on Sundays. Jurassic World will be on Sundays. Tomorrow we'll do mayoral coverage. So tomorrow night we'll be live at this time covering the numbers in New York in the mayor race and shit going on with that. It'll be like mayor race coverage tomorrow unless something else happens. But we'll be focused on New York tomorrow. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and tune in. So there'll be special coverage on that. And then, yeah, I'll be returning to the city streets this week. Getting back out with the protests. My gaming channel. Mercado Gaming. We played Jurassic World for 8 hours yesterday. I didn't realize what time it was. I just kept going. Didn't realize how long the stream was. We started at like 2 o'clock, and I was just like, I built a Jurassic World in Japan. I built my own Jurassic Park, but it was in Japan. So we'll do that on Sundays. It'll be like a Sunday special stream. I think tonight we go back to horror and we do Chronos Due Dawn. Monday. Chronos. So I'll get the stream scheduled. I'll get it going. I got to build it. Actually, no, fuck. We got to finish Ghost of Yotei, chat. We got to finish Ghost of Yotei. I can't start a new game yet. I keep starting new games. We got to finish Ghost. It's a good game though. It's not like, oh, damn it. No, it's a really good one. It's not a bad thing. Ghost of Yotei could win Game of the Year. That's how good it is, actually. So let's keep going with that one. Perfect Monday night game. Yep. We get it scheduled here. Gaming channel is just great to relax to after all this crap. Cool community there. Where is my number 7? There we go. It's going to be part 7 here. All right, chat. Thank you again for watching. I'll get that thing scheduled here very momentarily. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the support on the stream. We had so much support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.